each, 6 games per group they play. Top 6 make it to the next stage, that is the group stage, which has 2 weeks where we have 42 teams who make it from the play-ins, and then with the 6 additional teams, meaning the top 6 teams from the spring season, making a total of 48. And again, 4 different groups, 12 teams each, and 6 games per group.
It's brutal, right? From 7 groups to 4 groups, but still we're going to see how well the teams are going to perform there as well. The competition for sure will keep increasing, but these are the play-ins. It starts all the way from 28th July and heads all the way towards 26th July. We're going to find our total 48 teams from this entire pool, and it is G groups. G groups.
Group G, that's how many groups we have. This is what
notification varala makada varum idukapra varum
in 2026 is bought, and this is the fall season that you are seeing, and I'm really happy that is given everybody an opportunity.
Champion
And on
team
top of that,
second place ku 17 lakham, third place ku 7 lakham,
prize money,
fourth ku 5, fifth ku 4, sixth ku 4, seventh ku 3.75, eighth ku 3.50, ninth ku 3.25, 10th ku 3, 11th ku 2.75, 12th
Exactly, and all they have to do is abide by the rules, get elimination points as they
Narikoottam
give you
from
easy
Tamil
1
Nadu, they are
point.
making
You
the
reach towards the first place, you
Appudiya?
get the booyah, you get 12 total points, and that is super important. The second spot, you get 9, and from there on, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, till 10th place. And later on, 11th, 12th, you get nothing. So elimination points are basically your god.
35 lakhs.
Yeah, we saw how elimination points can uplift you and push you even further. But one thing that helps every team to set themselves apart is going to be the one unique active skill criteria that every team has to follow. Within your group, within your squad, within your survivors of that team, you need to make sure that if you're having a Valiant Dash, turn it with an Ignis, bring a Homer. Something that we have missed recently. Homer was there when we started our previous spring season earlier during the group stages, but when you look at right now, Homer doesn't seem to make its presence as much. However, Chrono, even though it's got a little bit of a patch in our OB54, people are still using it as a shield, and rightfully so, it is doing the job.
You are so
That's
great,
right,
bro.
and these
You
are the
great.
playing
I
teams.
think
Group
so.
C, Nebula
Life for
Esports,
your team
Eagle
only.
Elite,
Bro,
RDX
நான்
Esports,
ஃபுல்லாவே
Gera
வருவேன் bro, நான்
Esports.
ஃபுல்லாவே வருவேன்.
We have even King's
இந்த
Army, Skill
இயர்
Max,
ஃபுல்லாவே சாரி இந்த
EXO
மாசம் ஃபுல்லா இந்த
Esports,
3 மாசம் ஃபுல்லாவே நான் வருவேன்.
Navi, for
Match இருந்தா
UK,
வருவேன்.
Elite,
எந்த match இருந்தாலும்
On
வருவேன்.
Fire, and Hims. So it's going to be a lot of fun, right? We could see a couple of
I get
teams
the watch
already
party
who have
from,
performed
official,
so
okay.
well. Nebula Esports,
Live appointment பண்ணி
specifically,
இப்பதான் bro
they have
வந்திருக்கான்
similar
மக்காளி புரியல
lineup.
எனக்கு.
They just don't have power.
அதான் வந்திருக்கான் யோ.
Other than that, they have Spark.
அப்படியே கிக்ல பாக்காதீங்களா, கிக்ல பாத்துக்கிறீங்க.
Power's presence be
வாங்க
missing,
இன்னைக்கு
or
என்கேஜ் மேட்ச்
Spark
இருக்கு.
is
இன்னைக்கு
just
இல்ல bro,
filling in
நான்
the
இனி அடுத்த
shoes
வாரம் தான்.
very
அது
well.
10 நாள் ஆகும்.
When we were seeing
Ajay
the
Cooking bro, இத
FFMIC
பார்க்க
being
ஒரு
played out,
வந்துடுறா.
these guys,
வாங்க வாங்க இதுலயும்
they were the
பாருங்க, அதுலயும்
troublemakers of the lobby, and I expect no
எல்லாத்தையும்
less from
பாருங்க.
them coming into our fall season here in the India Cup. Now
Today Tamil team
against
இருக்கா?
them, while they
No
are
Tamil team,
invited,
இன்னைக்கு
we
Tamil
have the
teams இல்ல.
city qualified team
நாளைக்கு
that's
தான்
going to be
ஆறாங்க
RDX Esports. Now I look forward to what they can bring in, because it's very crucial that when teams qualify from the city qualifiers, they don't go through the FFC mode. So right as now, RDX from Patna, I hope they are ready here in our play-ins group C
காடல்
stage.
இருக்கு. காடல் வந்து டைரக்டா
I
குரூப்
hope
ஸ்டேஜ்க்கு
they're
வரும்.
going
வீக்
to
ஒன்னு
be as
வரும்.
explosive as their name.
கரண்ட்
One
பில்
spark
எகிருது
and they should just
எகிருதாமே.
blow up.
கரண்ட் பில்
So
ஃபுல்லா
each
போகுது.
map, I would love
ஐயோ
to
ஹரி
see how well
யூனிவர்சிட்டி
they're
லயோ
going to perform.
டீம்
Other than
மாதிரி
that, I
நம்ம
believe the underdogs are super ready.
பண்ணி
Most
டோட்டலா
of
45 பாயிண்ட்ஸ் ஸ்கோர்
most of the
பண்ணிருந்தாங்க.
places,
அதே
whenever they get
மாதிரி
the opportunity, we have
டோர்னமெண்ட்
seen it
வின்
since day
பண்ணுவாங்களா
one.
தெரியல.
They're going ahead and grabbing it with open arms,
பார்க்கணும்.
and I just love the enthusiasm plus the excitement that they're bringing in. Similar meta,
என்ன
it's
வேணாலும்
just the
நடக்கலாம்.
play style is different. So
என்ன வேணா
you see the
சாதிக்கலாம், என்ன
variation
வேணா
these
பண்ணலாம்.
players are
தேங்க்ஸ்
bringing
ஃபார்
in.
பட்டா போ கவிராஜ் ப்ரோ.
I think
ஏ
that's what
गाइस
we
அந்த
expect,
12 இருந்தா சென்ட் பண்ணி
especially
விடுங்க,
when
எல்லாரும்
you
வச்சிருப்பீங்க
are going to
எப்படியோ.
be forging your very own
சென்ட் பண்ணி
legacy
விடுங்க.
right from the
என்ன
start.
இந்த மந்த்
You
கரண்ட்
better
பில்
have
எவ்வளவு
something
வந்துச்சு?
unique of
இன்னும்
your
வரல
own,
ப்ரோ,
and
எனக்கு
that's
இன்னும்
what
பில்லே
we also
வரலையே.
want to witness. And while we were kind of seeing the rehearsal
Tamil
games,
team-
we kind of
Tamil team
saw
இல்ல
how
bro.
some of the
Tamil
teams
team,
were
no
able
Tamil
to
team.
hold their own metal. I think even call it as steadfast, be on the ground, get those revives up. So I expect maybe something that we can see replicating here. But also when we kind of talk about your rehearsals or your game to game pre-game
இல்ல,
stuff that you
இப்போ
end up
எதுவும்
doing,
இல்ல.
some of those matches end up being a
Thanks
curse
for
or maybe a
Vada
boon,
Bau,
something
bro.
that we have to wait and watch until we start
Bhuvanesh
our
bro,
game
thank you
number
so
1.
much, bro.
And as you
Thanks for
saw
the
on our
guy.
schedule, we start with a very first that is going to be the most simplest of the maps, that is going to be Bermuda. So I hope everybody starts off on the even curve.
Eagle and Nebula
Bermuda, right? It's a beautiful map. You all know it's like the vanilla of the entire map pool. Usually whatever happens is that teams are pretty confident in that map, right? If you're confident, that just means one thing, that you're going to aim for such good numbers, and that's where all of our prediction comes in as well, right? The top 3 teams of that map. Let's just go ahead and look right into it. Plus chat,
Lucifer
viewers,
Nebula
whoever is watching audience, please go ahead and give your top 3 as well. We would love to know and admire the fact that you guys also know this lobby.
Yeah, as we can see, both of us have 2 names which are synonymous, which are same. It's going to be Nebula as well as RDX. From Eagle Esports at your end, and then I'm gone in for him. Now I think the third pick for both of us is going to be, hey, let's see, these are the underdogs. They can do something new. We have seen them a little around the circuit, some familiar names maybe in terms of what they were doing, but let's see if they can actually put up a game right here as they start off in the Group C. Especially now that all their games will be witnessed on live stream, they will maybe feel a tad bit of pressure.
Finally, we will have the record that this team, wherever they go, they just go ahead.
Hey guys,
they're just isolated. So change your tactics, watch your games, watch reviews. All of that can be possible. Before this, it was not. First game is Bermuda. Second is Purgatory. Super excited. The game schedule is amazing today. Thank you so much, Bermuda, Purgatory, and Kalahari. 3 lovely maps.
Yeah, wonderful first set of games coming in. Bermuda, Purgatory, Kalahari, as you mentioned. Next era, Solara, and the last one being randomized will be taken over by none other than favorites Crips and Urka watching and coming up later down the line. But right as now, our preferred drop spot, it is going to be in Bermuda, and we have a tangle of 5 teams around peak, and one very close is going to be at Factory, that is 4UK, and I'm worried for the games at the very start.
It's a pentagon. So I do not know whether they can land punches or throw in some weapons as well. But peak being contested by 5 different teams, and look at 4UK, they're very close. Factory. All they have to do is take the zip line, reach towards peak, and get the Cochinok is also close. Do that. But that was a lovely spot to head towards Elite. I would love to see how well they're going to rotate as well. Graveyard down by Kings. So these are the spots where I believe things are going to brew up and the fights are going to look lovely.
Yeah, right as now, that's what we hope for. Fingers crossed. Yesterday we saw the set of Group B teams play around. It was wonderful, to be honest. Now we saw a new set of flavors coming through the way teams were approaching. Rather than it being a lot of third-party fights, we did see teams kind of pull off their very own tactics of how to win around the play zone, or at least take teams down. Now that's what I'm expecting from Group C. Third parties are something that we very commonly see around the circuit. Everybody knows how to do it, but it's about how you manage to take that fight. I think survival will also going to be very key, especially that this is game number 1, where you also have to understand, hey, these 11 other new teams are not something that I'm always used to playing in the lobby. So how do we cope around this aggression?
I have seen teams not getting comfortable earlier on, Lucifer, and that's a big problem, right? You got to know whether if there's going to be some kind of a challenge. You always need to overcome. Getting eliminations, yes, no joke. You have to take a fight and win that as well. And sometimes what happens is your team members die, but do not worry. You have the revival system. You can head towards a vending machine. You can even head towards the recall tower, and these are the areas where you need to constantly keep tabs in as well. You never know a different team, and they might be there, and you might just get kept of what? Of reviving your entire team. So keep your money game up, cash in some Suzy, and bring in your A game. That's all we require, and that's the kind of mentality all of these players need to bring in as well. Specifically the underdogs, right? Underdogs, this is a humble request to you all. Let's just have a lovely game today, because group number C, high expectations, high octane games, Lucifer, and we're going to love it. First 3 maps itself, you guys know the tonality that's going to be set, and then later on towards the last 3, I don't know what the randomizer is going to bring in, but Solara definitely brings in a lot of action, right?
Yeah, it does. Solara is a game where it changes the pace entirely, not towards the tunes of the players, but its own, the circle, the play zone of how it shifts, and especially the flight itself, if it decides to be completely skewed. And if it is, then be worried about your own chances of survival over there. Nonetheless, make sure that this competition is not about you making sure you're in the podiums. It is about staying in the top 6. I think that should be the name of your game. Is going to be how you manage to figure out that top 6 points. Whether it's going to be the placement, whether it's going to be the elimination, how you manage to cope around it. Because even in the last game yesterday, the teams who managed to get left out were only by a single point or 2 points at max. The difference was not at all drastic, and that's how close. Hope that difference doesn't affect you.
Yeah, the competition, right? We usually talk about that. It's just 1 or 2 points. Your position is completely gone. So do not be there. Create a buffer. Create some really good elimination points earlier on in the game itself. Wherever you're confident.
2K subscribers more for 800k.
Yes, bro. Other maps, it doesn't matter whether you have had a good game or a bad game.
When match will start, bro?
Your map, give your A game.
11 second la.
Go for it, A game, and now you have less than 10 seconds as the flight path is about to take its journey over the course of Bermuda to figure out, is it going to favor some of these teams in its very first turn of Group C, or maybe cause some trouble already right from the beginning of TEZ FFMIC 2026 fall for Group C.
Group C, I hope you're locked and loaded. Because we do understand, you get the micro Uzi in the beginning itself, but the drop clash is one thing we all are waiting for. As the flight takes a very nice, cute trajectory, is okay. It's a complete split of half. So if you want to head towards Riverside, you get the opportunity. You want to head towards Cape Town, you have the opportunity. You have opportunity to head any and every given direction in this map. Love the flight path. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think the flight itself decided, hey, it's Group C. Let's not give them a hectic game right at the beginning. But nonetheless, teams don't care. As you can see, right at this Sentosa Island, we end up seeing 2 teams clashing out right at the beginning. New Era and Eagle. And I'm worried. Eagle, only one of their players were in the other direction. It seems like New Era, they are falling. There's been some exchanges. Fluxo07. His confirmation going to Yagami, and on the other end at Peak, where we kind of thought, depending on the preferred drop spots, unlike when we talk about preferred drop spots the other time, this time we saw 5. We thought, hey, it's game number 1, maybe teams do that. No, it's only one team here.
They all lie on their resume, man. They all lie. And I just absolutely hate
थोड़ा बहुत नुकसान हुआ है. स्वरूप का एचपी थोड़ा कम जरूर हुआ है और देखिए अभी तक किसी भी टीम के पास कोई भी एलिमिनेशन नहीं आया है. 12 टीम हमारे साथ पूर्ण रूप से जीवित होने वाली कहीं ना कहीं. स्वरूप बनाने की कोशिश, लेकिन ये पहला नुकसान होता हुआ यहाँ पे नेबुला स्पोर्ट्स अपने पहले खिलाड़ी को गवाते हुए अपने पास एक एलिमिनेशन दर्ज कर लेंगे. फर्स्ट डूम मिल चुका है कहीं यहाँ पे गुंगारी को.
मोटर पड़ गया कक्कू सुनकर संतोष से
मिल जाता है और उसी कॉन्फिडेंस के चलते आप एक मोमेंटम
कहानी है.
किंग लेजिट नजर आ रहे हैं वहां पे, जिनको डाउन कर दिया गया है. किंग जैंगो सामने की तरफ मल्टीपल प्लेयर्स नजर आते हुए चलिए निकलने की कोशिश की थी रोशन के द्वारा, लेकिन उन्हें हवा में ही टेक डाउन कर दिया गया है. किंग का स्क्वाड नीचे की तरफ मुसीबत में फंसे हुए हैं. डुग्गू
एनकेजी मध्याह्न टाइमல ப்ளே பண்ணா வாட்ச் பார்ட்டி வந்து இதுல போலாம்னு இருக்காங்க.
स्थिति है बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल है. डुग्गू को यहाँ पे डाउन करके तुरंत एलिमिनेट कर दिया गया है.
மத்த மேட்ச் ज्यादा ப்ளே பண்ணாங்கன்னா கிக்ல வாட்ச்
के साथ यहाँ पे किंग्स आर्मी को पहला 2 एलिमिनेशन मिल चुका है खाते में. जेड जोर काफी बेहतरीन तरीके से अपने टीम के लिए वो 2 योगदान एलिमिनेशन का. उसी के साथ स्टार गोपी को देखिए लाइट और जैंगो यहाँ पे उनके टीम से नजर आने वाले. लॉन्च पैड का इस्तेमाल करेंगे और किसी दूर लोकेशन में हवा यात्रा के साथ निकल पड़ेंगे. देखिए उसी के साथ मॉर्स का इस्तेमाल करा जा रहा है कहीं जैंगो के द्वारा. टीम के स्नाइपर खिलाड़ी होने वाले हैं वहीं पे मिल के एरिया पे देखिए नेबुला
On the other end, it is going to be a fight which Hims are about to lose. Players being lost one after another. Elite Force, they are the ones who pick off 2 of the players, get 2 eliminations for themselves. Where I don't know what that play was coming in from Hims, but right now new era after dodging a bullet at Sentosa. Right now they've made their way, but to another team that's going to be on fire. Esports and Fluxo again going to be caught out. Amit, can he do something different all on his own? Not the best weapon to have, and it'll not work out. All eliminations going in favor for On Fire, but the trouble is not stopped. There is Shadow now challenging, but he doesn't have the numbers. He's all alone and now jumps out of the chrono only to fall to his knees.
Navi நீ நல்லா விளையாடுவாங்க bro. Navi நல்லா விளையாடுவாங்க bro.
Inside the room, and it was a big surprise that he could not take at all. New era, more like they're heading towards the old one, back to just recharging themselves.
Nebula ஒரே ஒரு ஆள் தான் இருக்காங்க. Nebula Eagle Esports அடிக்குறாங்க. Drop பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
A good side for them. The confidence level
இதான் bro பிரச்சனை. ஒரே இதுல ரெண்டு Tier 1 டீம்ஸ் இருந்துச்சுனா இதான் பிரச்சனை. Nebula Eagle Esports தெரியும் எங்க இறங்குவாங்க. ரெண்டு டீம் ஒரே கிளாஸா இருந்துச்சுனா இறங்கி அடிச்சிராங்க.
I think we have to be ready for heartbreaks. What happened yesterday can maybe replicate once again today. But it's still game number 1. But now in game number 1, Rayan from SMX, he's been knocked, and 2 different teams are eyeing on this. It's going to be RDX's killer
guys,
who gets the elimination.
Guys,
and now RDX were the very first to approach. It's still a downhill fight that was happening, and this should give enough time for On Fire to take a hit, and they do, with the Bolt Maker being called and instantly rushing, nades being tossed, and then the glue wall with the Valiant Dash being destroyed. Opening found worthless on Bhavya. That is a knock. That will trouble SMX. And RDX, they wanted to move, but Xtran, he holds it off at the outside. Doesn't work out. He's also knocked. Confirmations coming through, and RDX timing it perfectly. Rushing into the arsenal, and mistake from On Fire, thinking they're all alone. The entire squad gets swept at arsenal along with SMX. And RDX, they get a total of 5 in that battle.
That was a lovely battle. Moreover, the topological advantage.
நினைச்சடா நேத்து நம்மளுக்கு என்ன நடந்துச்சு அதேதான் நெபுலாக்கு. இன்னைக்கு டே நெபுலாவோட டே பாருங்க bro. உண்மையா சொல்றேன். இன்னைக்கோட டே நெபுலாவோடது. பாரு நெபுலா இப்ப எலிமினேட் ஆயிட்டாங்களா? பட் இருந்தாலும் கம்பேக் இருக்கும். நெபுலாட்ட கம்பேக் இருக்கும். பாருங்க. கண்டிப்பா கம்பேக் இருக்கும்.
And he's trying to run away at the last.
நீங்க ராக்கி யார சொல்லிருக்காரு? நீங்க ராக்கி யார சொல்லிருக்காரு?
Is he going to be alive? Oh yes, he's alive. With just 90 HP on his name. Dude,
super lucky. மத்தியானம் நடக்கிற மேட்ச்ல அங்க தான் வருவான். ஈவினிங் நடக்கிற மேட்ச்ல இங்க போலாம். மத்தியானம் நடக்கிற மேட்ச்ல அங்க போடா கரெக்ட்டா இருக்கும்.
Killer Ram.
இங்க மத்தியானம் மேட்ச் இங்க வர முடியாது.
Just to take him down, and Rayan is very close in the vicinity as well. He needs to provide the support. Where is Satwik? Far off from the angle. I do not think he can even scope in and understand what's happening. They are running around trying to find some kind of a 40, but it's not going to be that easy.
I thought this was a ploy coming in from SMX, dragging towards a fight itself, but rather it seems like they don't have the best weaponry, and that is the reason they're just making a run. Not the best in weapons, not the best in terms of equipment, and all they're doing is making a run, but there is a UAV that's chasing them, giving them positions constantly, coming in and sent from RDX, now trying to climb up the hill. Glue walls being used as cover, but Rayan is going to be knocked with a woodpecker. Now Sagar, he can't do much. M24 and hand distance being closed in, shots not connecting, electrotherapy being used, all unfavorable here for Sagar. Damage being done. Oh, a knock, ripped at rhythm instantly. That should be an elimination, but before he could, a Valiant Dash to put him down to his knees and take the player out and instantly go for a revive. RDX are not giving these eliminations away.
That was not at all lucky. I do understand Sagar. He was aiming to get at least 1 point, and the others, they were just running around. But, well, it is RDX. We all know they're explosive and they already have a really good start. We saw the fate that On Fire just had inside the arsenal, right? And from there on, I don't think so. Any other team can even match the caliber that they have. Gosh, running around, last member standing, and he's still trying to stay alive. And he's running for the hill. Regardless of what happens, the Knights are here. And this is constantly running around, seeing where the last member is, and there is another player downhill. What's going on here?
Hey guys, and the Joel send money guys.
I have no clue how he survived that, how he managed to send another opponent in a very direction while a chase was happening, and at least for the time being, On Fire will survive from the hunt that was coming in from King's army. But right is now, Navilugari, after they've found their initial opening, they're getting hit upon. It is going to be trouble for them. EXO Esports A new era. We were just seeing one player. I think he fell to the knees of the players from Kings who were chasing the last player. Even Elite Force being eliminated. It seems like a lot of teams unable to find their points that we thought will be the ones they'll be able to grab at the end of the game. Very early eliminations. 3 teams out, 9 teams still fighting, and you can see the 3 teams out, especially in Nebula with no points. New era with only 2, and Elite Force with only their 2. So right as now, I don't think that's much to work with, but at least with 1 placement point, they make a total of 3 points. It is still not going to be enough, but game number 1, take it with a pinch of salt and reset.
And it's about the mistakes, right? You gotta know where you have made the mistake and understand, analyze those mistakes. For UK, they have made no mistake, dribbles on point, and they have just rushed down the throats of SMX. Nothing can stop them. As for UK, they are on the prowl, trying to get all the elimination points, and they very well will get that as well. A full-fledged rush, which they have received complete rewards on. No casualties whatsoever. Hence, they had to go ahead and contest P just to revive yet another fallen comrade for UK. Really good start, and now they're taking wrath of Hims. Hims height advantage, but a chrono shield being deployed. Yugu is trying to stay alive for a real long time, but those nade launchers, they're just going to do numbers on him. Now he's begging for mercy. There's no one who's going to revive him at all, as those nades are just going to pummel him to death.
Both being used. I think there were 2 different teams, so a little bit of the third party as well. Nonetheless, some of the players have already gotten into the compound, and therefore 4UK will still be able to get their player back up, get back into the competition even after losing that 1 player for an elimination. Hims, however, that was the very first elimination they got. We saw them earlier scurrying around Bermuda trying to figure out a position. And similar situation, SMX, after the charge coming in from 4UK, 1 last player tried to make it out, and the only direction that he headed towards was elimination. And now down to the last 8 teams that we have, UAV being used here, which will give away the position. I think it was used from the team below. That should be 4UK if I'm not wrong.
I am Hariprasanthidhoni. Thanks for
the position will be given away, nothing that they could do. However, they have a better advantage, the roof that they control of.
Hey guys,
but they need to make sure once the circle shifts, they better in tandem move parallelly with it, or they'll be left out because there's a lot of teams ahead of them.
The worst part is there's just a couple of players who have the sniper rifle. They can give a really good response, but the others, they need to be aware of their backs. You never know who's going to take a shot against you, and then you just might go instantly down. I do understand there's a factor of glue wall as well, but again, how many times can you use that? What a lovely shot coming in. And even though the player is going to be revived, but it's a loss of a lot of utility. First of all, a med kit, inhaler, and all of those things combined. Healing pistol as well. There you go, Nishu. A lovely way to heal your teammate. But they're just slowly understanding that Hims have a really good height advantage.
Using the roof as a brilliant fortress of fire. But for how long? We spoke about it. On fire on the other end, they know that if they want to make it across peak, they have to take that fight. Or be like 4UK. Just make a quick run. Unfortunate miss of a button hit coming through from Dishu. Now they have also lost, or they are already at a deficit of players, so they need that vending machine. They will. That was a little bit of an off situation, but nonetheless, not much to be worried about for Hims. We spoke about it. The zone's closing in. Utkarsh is down. That's going to be Galen coming through from Hims. And more to follow as the confirmation goes through. Dishu will also fall. Shot being hit. Nice nade being tossed. Confirmation, Damon. But that goes to Devil. Nonetheless, same team. 4 eliminations in total now. Hims, the circle is just nudged a little ahead, so not much to be worried about. They can still hold their position and look forward to teams getting closer in the circle, and this time again another UAV being used for information, and nothing for Hims to be worried about.
They have the super blessed with this area, and they're bringing in a monster truck as well. Well, talk about forging your legacy.
நீ காலையில போட்ட வீடியோக்கு வேற ஒருத்தர் கமெண்ட்
with all
ஆளாம்பர உங்க டீம் வந்துருச்சீங்க காட் லைக் டீம் சப்போர்ட் பண்ண மாட்டீங்க.
Rather a very long time that they've kind of launched themselves. It almost seems like a hotel. Oh wait, okay, they have a sentry in case somebody decides to rush, but looking at how Hims are playing, I don't think that's going to happen. So the longer
What
they
the
wait
what
here,
போட்டாரா
and you can see
That's
the
the
zone
what
is about to
Dinesh
shrink,
bro.
which is a cause for concern
ஐயோ
here for
ஏ गाइस
4UK
நிறைய பேர்
Esports.
கிட்ட
If
1000
they don't
மெயில் திரும்ப
decide to
அனுப்பிச்சுடுங்க
tread
गाइस
down the
அவன்
stairs, move in the other
வேஸ்ட்
direction,
பண்ணாதீங்க
get back
गाइस
into the
எல்லாரும்
circle,
என்ன
only the information with the arrow on binoculars will just tell them that there's too many players, but where are they? That's something that 4UK have to be worried about. And Hims on the other end, because of the position that they have an eye on the entire circle. But Akil, he finds on Citron, he instantly confirms that elimination as well, and it seems like 4UK doesn't matter that they're inside the compound, the zone being closed, they'll still find eliminations.
Well, Eagle Elite, they have a very good spot. There's no one who's going to contest that place. Absolutely not. They're not even there in the radar or the crossfire of any of the team. So that's a lovely spot for them. But Kings, they better be prepared for this, as RDX, they yet again here to run down another team. Like, you know what? We told you so. This is our location. This is our place. And we're just going to explode it to perfection.
அப்புறம் EWC நடந்துருக்கு பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸுமே பார்க்கறேன்.
So I'm hoping that Hims, they're prepared for this as well. They can get good amount of eliminations. All they have to do is point and shoot, but they're instantly trying to rotate in towards the circle. Launchpad utilized, and they're going deep down towards the southern side of the circle.
Thanks for a finger got bro. A to Z gaming Tamil bro.
They just launched them off one corner to another corner of the circle, and they survived it.
Lucifer, I did mention that one launchpad and this team is going to be off from that rooftop, but one launchpad to another team, that I did not imagine.
This is, I think, at least good for them that they have changed the scope, because otherwise they would have been in trouble with 4UK already looking for eliminations. But in the compound they've jumped to as the zone shrinking. They did not make it inside the circle, but damage being done. Nice hold off coming in from Acid. No climbing down the stairs for the time being. Naviluguri, they are trapped right now. And if they lose their players, it's going to be even more troubling. Still might being used to position in another direction as a sniper. That's maybe a right call coming in from Devil. But he has to be worried about RDX who are up the hill. If he makes sounds, RDX will decide to take a peek down the hill and start shooting bullets.
Oh, that's right. Good positioning right there, Hims. They're fighting their own demons now, but it's not going to be that easy, as Navi, they're just rushing forward, trying to take the entire circle and call it theirs. But RDX, they're on a different corner altogether, working in tandem, and there you go, Hims. They're in deep trouble, as RDX are taking really good shots at them. One by one, the players are knocked, but Navi, they've been eliminated. It's not at all a good sign. All this time, they were contesting for the circle, and they wanted to head towards it. But there's a lot of collateral damage on fire. Unfortunately, they have been eliminated as well on the 5th position nonetheless. And the others are still fighting for survival.
Fighting, still keeping it through. Monster truck being brought into the battle from Eagle, but still end up losing a player. Killer is being exchanged in the meanwhile. However, Egg trying to get closer. Jeet ready with his VSK, and he will be taken down. That is the end for Eagle.
Oh, Eagle eliminated.
Their run will come to an end at the top 4. RDX still firing. They have all their 4 players. Now it's going to be EXO Esports. Anix and Varun, they are closer. Now they take the monster, destroy the glue walls, and instantly open up the defenses in their favor. Saksham with the valiant dash, looking forward to another killer gets turn, and RDX.
Seriously,
RDX, the last man standing, protects and helps them.
Seriously, bro.
But for how long is the last one standing, and now him out of nowhere, the last one, Devil, he's also a sniper. Sniper v sniper action.
Sniper.
Devil, the revive's been
already balance in the Kali. Oh, what the Kali?
Through that weapon itself and the monster truck. Now they're exchanging their positions on the seat. 1v2 still stands.
Oh, him RDX Jet bro. Appa.
But
one v 3 bro, Jet.
He's right there. The revival itself was a big boon for the team. RDX. Well, they have snatched things away from so many different teams, and they have yet again claimed the booyah.
RDX Esports, they were the ones on the highest of eliminations.
And
to get this very first game in their favor is brilliant. Amazing stuff being done, but almost losing majority of their players to just 2 of the players from EXO Esports is kind of unbelievable, which also shows us the metal coming in from EXO Esports, UniEX as well as Varun. Both of them in a brilliant game, but nonetheless, credits not taken away from RDX at all. In that situation, a 1v1 with the sniper that they had to deal with, they go in for a revive and get it back into a 2v1 situation. and the last man standing couldn't do much from Eagle Elite, and that is the end of the race. Sorry, Hims Gaming, not Eagle Elite. Eagle Elite, yes, had a lot of eliminations, but they were also scum to the fight that RDX were able to deliver.
All EXO, they tried their level best here. I did see some individual brilliance coming in, but well, Devil, he tried his level best, man. Hopping on to the monster truck and then moving further, just trying to toss around the opponents. You see the fallback animation where the opponents are not able to do anything. Unfortunately, he could not do much.
Bro, what did you think?
Wanted to, do something about it. Get the booyah, give those 12 points to the team, but unfortunately, it is what it is.
நீங்க தான பாக்குறீங்க கொஞ்சம் நான் மேட்ச் தான் பாக்குறேன். நீங்க தான் அங்க கமெண்ட் எல்லாத்தையும் பாக்குறீங்க.
Against one member, but well, if those M590 shots would have hit right to the skull, it would have been a
பாருங்க கேக்கல லைவ் எப்ப டெய்லியும் bro.
Yeah, unfortunately he did not have that 11 on hand. He was a sniper, and that 11 க்கு மேல maximum வர ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. Let me take the monster truck, let me try to destroy those glue walls, but by the time he sat in the monster truck, try to turn it around with the big radius it has, the revives happened.
guys kickல follow பண்ணாமதீனா follow பண்ணிக்கோங்க. யார் யார் follow பண்றீங்க?
Yes, sometimes the sniper versus sniper battle in a 1v1 is just
இப்போ நான் கமெண்ட்ல பின் பண்ணி வைக்கிறேன்.
Again, the presence of mind coming in from RDX, understanding that this is the booyah, this is for qualification. Some of the games might go very away from them. He instantly decided rather better on numbers rather than just on the mechanical prowess. He says banking on what is best, favorable for the team. Played team game over there, got RDX their very first booyah. But we've seen, to be honest, Azora, booyahs don't save the day. They might give you the glimmer, they might give you the spotlight, but it is about how consistent you are throughout in the next 5 games that RDX decides whether you make
big fan bro guys one like
that concept itself needs to be like put into the brains of the players, right?
ஹரிப்ரா நெக்ஸ்ட் ஏதோ இஷ்யூவா உங்களுக்கு தெரியுமா? நெக்ஸ்ட் ஏதோ இஷ்யூவா ப்ரோ தெரியுமா? நான் லோகோ நேம் ஓனர்லாம் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணி ஆகணும்னு இன்ஸ்டால பார்த்தேன். உனக்கு தெரிஞ்சா சொல்லுங்க. எனக்கு தெரியல அரேஞ்ச் எனக்கு தெரியல. ரொம்ப நாளா தெரியல என்னன்னு தெரியல.
Those teams as well who have been the veterans who have played.
வணக்கம் நண்பா, சொல்லுங்க நண்பா, டிஸ்கார்ட் வாங்க நண்பா. சும்மா நண்பா இருக்கீங்க.
தெரியாமல போட்டனா. So what went wrong? It was just the games, right? Getting those
முன்னாடி போறோம்டா, அதுக்கு அப்புறம் லிங்க் போறோம்டா. டேய் மெண்டல்
அப்படிதான் போட்டேன்.
ராஜேஷ் மெண்டல்
makes a huge difference, or it's just those eliminations 1 2 they make the difference. So big or small, just go ahead, fight your own battles, and please perform well in the others as well. Stay consistent, like Lucifer says.
Taran,
let's hope teams figure out this secret recipe. I mean, it's not a big secret. Every stage always
content creator
but it's very tough to deliver. Every team has their own troubles, has their own demons, which Hims did have something similar to that. Hims as well, nice play coming in from there and holding the ball, jumping in the complete other direction. Just the positioning of it, and RDX hearing those shots, they could have had their very own booyah. They were starting late in the round. The circle was around the 3rd or 4th, and then we ended up seeing him getting their own eliminations, but somewhere to start.
தமிழ் டீம் இருக்கா bro? இன்னைக்கு தமிழ் டீம் இல்ல bro, நாளைக்கு தான் ஆடுவாங்க. நாளைக்கு இல்ல, நாளைக்கு தான் ஆடுவாங்க. 24
25 team. I think On Fire is something that we did see. They were picking up a lot of fights. On Fire Esports were looking for eliminations, but it's just that playing outside the zone, when you look forward to fights, look forward to eliminations, you are bound to be hit by somebody who is inside the circle and your timing not being that great. Even same thing happened for SMX. They were inside the compound, very similar to how the 4 UK teams were holding, but instantly when 4 UK Esports jumped, SMX were nowhere to be found.
That's right. But there's another team in the middle of all of that, right? Like, I was super happy to see this one team, RDX, taking fights everywhere. Any given opportunity, they are there. It's a advantage, it's a hill, slope, it doesn't matter.
rule breakers last
dude being the sniper of the team gets 9 eliminations. Usually it's the rusher doing the heavy lifting, right? But here it's a sniper. 5057 damage being dealt on the opponents and 4 assists.
Group F க்கு வந்து rule breakers
dude basically ran rampant and he constantly saw where the opponents are heading towards. So the Riptide Rhythm, the entertainment CEO, did a lot of heavy lifting there, getting in total of 30 points. Eagle Elite 25 and EXO Esports with 16 games, leveling things up with them with 16 total points of their own, all thanks to being second in the previous game. For UK with 13 total points.
After long time no see,
the start was really good. They were running rampant. They were getting the elimination points. They got 7 in their name, but the placement points is something that they need to focus on.
நான் மத்தியான லைவ்ல அங்க தான் போறேன் சரியா மத்தியானம் வந்து இங்க லைவ் இல்ல அதனால டைரக்டா நான் மத்தியான லைவ் அங்க தான் வருவேன் 2 மணி லைவ் அங்க தான் வருவேன் 12:30 அந்த மாதிரி வருவேன் ஓகேவா சோ இங்க வந்து வாட்ச் பார்ட்டி அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும் நீ ஒரு இந்த வாரம் ஃபுல்லா வாட்ச் பார்ட்டி இருக்கும் அடுத்த வாரம் ஒரு 4 நாள் வாட்ச் பார்ட்டி இருக்கும் அடுத்த வாரம் 3 நாள் அதுக்கு அடுத்த வாரம் 3 நாள் அந்த மாதிரி 3 நாள் இருக்கும் அடுத்த வாரம் வரைக்கும் வாட்ச் பார்ட்டி டைம் வாட்ச் பார்ட்டி மட்டும் இங்க 5:30க்கு ஆரம்பிக்கும் அப்படி வாட்ச் பார்ட்டி முடிஞ்சிச்சுனா நார்மல் லைவ் அதாவது கேம் விஆர் ரேங்க் புஷிங் அந்த மாதிரி லைவ் and
Nebula. They are the ones in more than new era. Nebula especially a big surprise. It seems like a wake up for us. It seems like we were caught napping to not expect this. I even mentioned they were supposed to be the troublemakers of the lobby. They have an idea, they have an experience, they've played in circuits like this, and for them to go out with not even a 1 point, whether it be placement or elimination at this point, I did not
normal live 12 and 5:30 தான் இனிமேல்.
That is a surprise.
Heartbreaking. As simple as we can say, it's heartbreaking. School, college முடிச்சு வர்றீங்க. I know they're rooting for Nebula Esports, but again, it was just certain circumstances, right? They just saw the opponents right in front of them, could not
bro அது தெரியல.
And in response, they could not
இப்போ overall pointல top 3 ல இருக்கும்.
That's how unlucky they were.
Overall point la top 3 இருக்குமா அப்படி பார்த்தாலுமே
up their game and from there on they can at least
overall ல இருந்து 12 பாயிண்ட் எடுத்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் குரூப் போடுவாங்க
நான் இந்த குரூப்புக்கு தெரியுமா போவேன்னு நினைப்பேன்
our 3 teams are already locked
group B C க்கு இருந்தா நல்லா இருக்கு இல்ல group A ல இல்ல B ல இருந்தோம்னா
the top 3
T1 teams ஆட வேண்டியதா இருக்கும் ஏல இருந்தோம்னா அபெக்ஸ் கேமிங் ஆடணும் B ல இருந்தோம்னா S2 ல ஆடணும் T ல இருந்தோம்னா டோட்டல் ஏம் Esports ஆடணும் D ல இருந்தோம்னா கால்லைக் Esports நினைக்கிறேன் கால்லைக் 4th பிளேஸ் முடிச்சாங்க
they will be figuring out what works better for
அதுக்கு அப்புறம் அந்த மாதிரி
as we move further in
A group வந்து 6 டீம் A group வந்து 2 A groupக்கும் B groupக்கும்
hopefully things change
grand finals ல 2 டீம் வருவாங்க 2 டீம் A groupக்கு B groupக்கு இல்ல A B C D அப்பனா C க்கும் D க்கும் 2 டீம் grand finals ல 2 டீம் வருவாங்க
they missed out so
all hours grand finals ல 2 டீம் வருவாங்க
and maybe not what could replicate what we've seen in the earlier stages of different tournaments
இங்க வந்தால ஆடி தான் ப்ரோ ஆகணும் ஆடி பாத்துக்கலாம்
however it is about reset now for teams who did not have the best start at all.
எந்த குரூப் இருந்தாலும் ஆடி தான் गाइस ஆகணும்.
You still have 5 more games.
ஆடியே பாத்தறல
உங்க has not started. So having your chance at this is what you have to look at and then figure out, hey, forget game number 1, we are better from game 2.
Game number 2 purgatory, mental reset is what it require and the positional reset as well. I mean, heading towards central, 3 different teams. It's. I would say it's not at all a good idea. Moreover, it's up to you whether you want to take the drop clash or not. Fire Brigade, all right. I do understand the way Team EXO is thinking right about now. Brasilia, 2 teams contesting. Marble Works is completely empty. Crossroads are completely empty. But they want to play it pretty slow compared to the other. Getting the He-Man is going to be a Booyah curse, or rather a target on your back. You
now every
Free Fire
community speaks about
you're going to be the first one to part ways.
I hope the blessings towards
we've
them
seen teams matches. And as you said, yes, teams who get the Booyah have always kind of suffered, but one team that did kind of stay away from this direction of suffering losses after getting a Booyah is NKG. So maybe some teams kind of follow in their footsteps, figure out what is the right thing that they are doing, maybe something they could replicate eventually. But right as now, as you're moving to Purgatory, you're still figuring out the lobby itself. You just played game number 1, did not work. Game number 2, what do you do? And if they are able to figure things out, because again, the same capacity witnessing, there's a cluster still. Last time it was at the central position around the peak area, but right now it seems to be around Fire Brigade, around Central, and I'm worried if as you're moving, teams are always seen in these clusters, and there are teams who are getting 15 seconds on the clock. Where do these teams head over, and where does the fight break out?
டீம்ஸ் இருக்கு
And I'm
ஆடுவாங்க
hoping that
25
those
26
fights,
ஆடுறாங்க
right, is
ரெண்டு
going to
டீம்
be
மூணு டீம் ஆடுறாங்க
done quickly.
மூணு
Because
டீம் ரெண்டு
Purgatory
டீம் ஆடுறாங்க
is
அப்புறம்
one of the
சான்
teams
கேமிங்
that
ப்ரோட
is
டீம்
gonna
கர்நாடகா
launch
டீம் ஆடுறாங்க
themselves towards a third party and go ahead, take
Sam
that
OP
fight,
bro, Godler,
fight for the spoils, rob them
Godler,
clean, and then move in towards another target. And this
Sam
is
OP
going to be
bro.
Purgatory, right? Usually, wherever we say it's going to be a very nice
தெரியல என்ன பண்ண
chill
போறாங்க
session for
பாப்போம்.
all the players. Absolutely not. This is competition at its peak, and I'm just hoping that Purgatory brings a lot of lessons to these teams.
Let's hope they do. Because every team is looking forward to it. But again, the flight path scene, you don't need to be worried about the flight path.
நம்ம டீம் பத்தி தான் சொல்றாங்க நெபுலா நம்மள மாதிரி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மேட்ச் விட்டுட்டு கம்பேக் அதான் நானும் சொன்னேனே நெபுலா நீங்க நல்லா விளையாடுவாங்க
we'll give another chance for everybody just between crossroads and
டைகரா சோரப்பா ஸ்னைப்பர்
brigade
சரியான போடு ஓடுவாங்க
seeming at the drop clash nothing as
Engage ஒரு டீம் இருக்கு தெரியுமா bro எனக்கு தெரியும் bro அந்த யாரோ
seeing the teams are in and around. As you can see, New Era, RDX and HIMS, but the entire western side of the map where Quarry goes.
Thanks for the little heart, Mukesh. Thank you so much, bro. அவர மாதிரி எல்லாரும் நல்லவங்களா இருங்க bro. Competition confirming BS gaming bro. Okay.
But they're a little still up north in that
எனக்கு
western
தெரியும்
island.
உங்களுக்கு
Not much
தெரியும்
to be worried about. But Kings, do they actually tread the lands, get closer towards Nebula, maybe going for a fight? Because so many teams, when we've seen in other circuits, other tournaments, whether it be our Asia Invitational or the spring season itself, that one region of golf course, every team has been troubled by Nebula.
Nebula,
அறிவே நேத்து பண்ண பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ்க்கு சிட்டி போட்டியே போல
spots, golf course, just to get good weapons, and then from there on they're going to head all the way
நேத்து எங்க அம்மா வர
towards
சொல்லி
Marble works. So let's see how well they're going to rotate in this game following from a very bad game in the previous one itself. Varun, you better run away. It's not going to be that easy as members are taking shots at him. They're rotating, they're knowing where the opponents are. But those weapons, right? It's a big question. Upgrade, that's what they're hoping for. Vector, long range, nah, it's not going to do anything. But wait a second, Viper, he's taking a different backboard together. Would love to see what's happening
RDX,
there.
Nebula, Eagle, RDX.
Not sure what's happening, but Navil Guru again starting off strong. Picking of players, and there it is. We have our opportunity to take a eye on what was causing so much action. And then Ishan making a run, Chrono being used, Viper instantly shut down. An exchange that Naviluguru took towards the side of Elite Force, now taken away.
Elite Force, good start, not gonna lie, 2 eliminations, but they have lost a couple of players as well. So the instant retreat alongside bringing them back into the picture, that's going to be super important. For that, you need those points. Ishan, wow, he was just waiting for Sydney himself, and he does send himself. But Patlu, is he close by? Yes, they are. Nebula Esports, they've heard all the commotion, and they're here looking for more blood.
Elite Force, maybe the right call. They have one of their players, but also spot Viper, who they just took down. VSS being used, and confirmation to
Nebula
follow
உள்ள
through.
வரானுங்க Nebula உள்ள வரானுங்க ஃபுல்லா சுத்தி வரானுங்க Nebula.
They get an idea about it. Gungri, as soon as he gets to know that he is known, he's spotted, they will go for a chase on him. He decides to run in the other direction. On cover, however, he gets eliminated, so quickly revives. So Elite Force, it's just a back and forth. One elimination for one exchange.
Oh, that's a lovely repositioning. Navi instantly runs away as they heard Nebula Esports is in the vicinity. But Elite Force, unfortunately, they could not do much. They're still healing themselves. They're reaching towards the sidelines of the shore, but it's not going to be that easy for them to survive as Panda. He's been completely
ஏதோ ஒரு கேம்
shot
சொன்னீங்களா அது என்ன
from
கேம்
Patlu.
ப்ரோ
He's trying to rush down.
அது ஒரு டிராயிங் கேம் அது
He's the
ஃப்ரீயாடா
primary rusher of the team. So
Yes,
I would
kind game.
love to see
அந்த
what
டிராயிங்
he can
வந்து
do. The
கண்டுபிடிக்கிறது
others, they have the woodpecker.
free தான்
So all the
Scribble.
angles are going to be
Online
contested. Tiger on the other
Online
end,
game
far range
அது.
shots. And Ishan has been completely
நீங்க
peppered.
விளையாடலாம்.
His HP way
ஏய்
too
ராயச்சி
low.
அந்த
Pepper
ஸ்கிரிபிளா
rushing down the throat, and there you go. That's the execution that
ஏய்
they
அந்த
were
கேமுக்கு
hoping
thumbnail
for.
வாங்கி
Even though
வரடா
Elite Force,
அவன்ட
they
சொல்றா
still have a safe haven. They have one of the
Scribble க்கு
members
thumbnail
away
வேணும்,
from all of
ராஜேஷ்.
this commotion.
இருக்கானா
They
அவன்
still need
ஆமா.
to survive the wrath of Nebula
Scribble.
Esports.
ஸ்கிரிபிள் வரையறது ஸ்கிரிபிள்
This is what Nebula is known for. And this is what we were missing in game 1. And it seems like finally
Subsidy
they
போய்
have
கூப்பிட்டு
found the
விளையாடணுமா
right
டிஸ்கல்ல
strikes
இல்ல எப்படி
and eliminations. There are a lot more teams moving in this direction. SMX is here. Just lost a couple of players, so they should be up and ready for the next battle. Right as now, new era. They're losing their players. It's going to be 4UK charging. 607 gets confirmed by Roshan and Dugu. And there is more players for 4UK to win at Ski Lodge, but the fight will not be coming to an end because some of the players from new era, they were not inside the compound. They're outside the edges of Ski Lodge. And 4UK Esports still thinking, do we tread in that direction or will we be challenged by somebody else? So they hold off in the compound for the time being.
அந்த மாதிரி அது டிசில ஒரு கேம் இருக்கு ஆக்டிவிட்டில
டிசி அது பக் ஆகும் அது வேணாம்
சூப்பரா இருந்துச்சு ஆடி இருக்கும்
subscribe
அது பக் ஆகும் நிறைய பேருக்கு
UK, I believe they were waiting for breakfast in bed, but unfortunately they
டீடைல்ஸ்
did
வின்
not get the option.
பண்ணாங்களா
Where to fill
இல்ல ஷேர் கொடுப்பாங்க bro players ஷேர் போ
shoes of the previous game, one elimination.
players ஷேர் இருக்கு
கார்த்திக் ஐயோ
They've already
கார்த்திக்
gone.
ஐயோ அது அந்த
Looks so
ட்ரிபிள் கேம்
shadow.
நல்லா இருக்கும் அது அதேதான்.
Mere pawns in this entire action, and Ahmed in the midst of all of that has been taken down.
இப்போ நம்ம வந்து எப்படின்னா NKG 100% ஷேர் ஓகேவா நம்ம வந்து ப்ராஃபிட் எடுக்கிறது இல்ல சரியா இப்போ நான் வந்து ஒரு இப்போ 30000 டோர்னமென்ட் ஜெயிக்கறாங்க அப்படினா அதுல டாக்ஸ் போவா ஒரு 25000 வருது நீங்க 25000 டீம் பிளேயர்ஸ் தான் பிரிச்சுக்குவாங்க ஓகேவா அது மாதிரி
it's a full send from the team.
ஆனா ஒரு சில ஆர்க்ல வந்து டீம் வந்து ஒரு 40-70% இருக்குது அப்படி 100%ல 70% பிளேயர் கொடுத்துட்டு 30% பிளேயர் டீம் எடுத்துக்கலாம் அந்த மாதிரி பர்சன்டேஜ்
against RDX, but this time it's a little too early in the battle.
70% நாலுமே 30% தான் பெருசு உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் 70 தான் பெருசா இருக்கும் கிடையாது சரியா
70 வந்து 4 பேர் பிரியணும்
4 பேருக்கு பிரியும் 70 இப்போ ஒரு நிமிஷம் ஒரு 100 ரூபாய் இருக்குன்னு வைங்க 100 ரூபாய சரி 1000 ரூபாய
and look at his position so further away. Aniex gets challenged by Roshan. That's quick on his play coming through with the
70-30 பிரிச்சோம்னா 700 ரூபாய் 300 ரூபாய் ஒருத்திங்கே போகும் ஓகேவா
being used, and with that Roshan will be put to rest. So
ஆனா 700 ரூபாய்
revenge being served, but it's not yet done as 4UK are deciding to push
233 ரூபாயா தான் போகும் ஒவ்வொரு பிளேயருக்கு
It's going to be an eye for an eye for UK, bringing back the lost comrade, and there you go, EXO.
But ana எவ்வளவு percentage
regardless from where you jump, you're going to meet the same fate, and that is death. Completely eliminated, just one member running away for his dear life, and that was the sniper who was there all the way towards the back line just to provide the cover. Team members long gone.
Yeah.
ஆன்லைன் எப்படி ஆடுறதுன்னு
What happened over there? They had Roshan completely in control after getting the
ஆன்லைன் ஆடணும்
தடவா இருக்குது guys இது
and 4UK just charged in, got the player back up. Now Felix, he's trying to run away. On fire have spotted him, and now what does he do? Not sure if he got the revive through Felix. If it hasn't happened, then it's going to be a problem for the side of EXO, and he did. Therefore, he will be able to get the players back into play very soon after giving away his life. Nonetheless, it's okay for now, but depends on where the circle is, where the player is about to land. If he gets spotted in the air and the player couldn't revive the other player, then it's going to be the end for EXO. 16 points, they're in the top 3 and out of the race in purgatory. That is going to be a big hindrance for them.
There's only one player very close to on fire, Yagami.
நீங்க நினைப்பீங்க ஆர்க் நடத்துறீங்க நிறைய சம்பாதிப்பாங்க கிடையாது ஆர்க் நடத்துறீங்க
He's trying to revive one or two
profit
members.
வந்து அதிகமா எப்படி
I
சொல்றது
believe that
brand கிட்ட இருந்து வேணா அதிகமா எடுக்கலாம் பட்
oh wait, 3 members
இதுல
are
சம்பாதிக்க
down.
முடியாது பிரைஸ் மணி
That's problematic. He needs to revive them real soon, and Ski Lodge is one of the spots where he's heading towards. But King's Army, they are reaching deep down to see where the opponents are calling in the rotation from RDX outside the circle. They're entering towards it,
தெரிஞ்ச டீமா இருந்தா கூட அதிகம்
and
அடிப்பாங்க இவங்க
it's going
அடிப்பாங்க
to be a
பார்க்கலாம்
really good spot for them, as there's just 4 UK right in front of them, but it's a detour that they've taken.
This is still at the place where
சொல்லுங்க தமிழன் bro சொல்லுங்க கிக்கில் லைவ் பாக்குறீங்க சொல்லுங்க
hold it off.
ஓ
I'm a little
ஸ்கோப்
surprised,
bro
but
சொல்லுங்க
Kings having better numbers here
வணக்கம் bro
will
வணக்கம்
for
வணக்கம்
sure
நிஞ்சா கிக்கில்
hold
லைவ்
it for themselves, control it. But in the meantime, new era, they've
நீங்க
been
நான்
just getting
கிக்கில் லைவ்
picked one
பாருங்க
after another, so for them to keep holding this, I'm a little worried.
Oh, what?
Hopefully it works, but it doesn't. Lumber Mill is not where they will be the ones building stations for themselves, building wardrobes. It's only
Kings
their
நல்லா ஆடுறாங்க
coffins which will be put to rest. That's another elimination added to the side of King's Army. And now, at the edge of the circle, they know where they are. They know they're the only team. And if anybody else decides to challenge at that position, they will be taking them down.
பேர்ல 5 பிளேயர்ஸ் இல்ல 5 பிளேயருக்கு தருவாங்க 5 பிளேயருக்கு ஈக்குவல்
In a
தான்
fight, right? It's either a fight or a
salary வேணா
flight
டிஃபரன்ஸ்
situation.
ஆகலாம் 5th பிளேயருக்கு பட்
And
ஆனா
that dude did literally
5 பிளேயருக்கு
nothing
ஷேர்ல
of
நோ
those.
டிஃபரன்ஸ்
He just lied right there,
எனக்கு
flat
தெரிஞ்ச
on his
வரைக்கும்
belly, waiting for
இல்ல
the
விளையாடுற
shots
4
to
பேருக்கு
connect.
மட்டும்
I
குடுக்குறாங்களாங்கிறது
think that
தெரியல
he did not see the opponent. I believe that is the case. But in any which case, some rebuttal would have been really good, but it's okay for now.
எங்கேஜ்
New
டேட் என்ன
era.
கன்ஃபார்ம் ஆகல ப்ரோ
Still
டேட்
learning,
சொல்றேன்
still
நீ
fixing
அடுத்த
those
வாரம்
mistakes, and as
வியாழன்
soon
வெள்ளி
as
சனி
they can
ஞாயிறுல
do
ஏதோ ஒரு
this,
நாள்
it's going to be good for them. And finally, RDX has understood this is the territory where they should not be messing. As for UK, they've been constantly taking shots on the opponents. Ram, why did he drop out? Oh, that was a big mistake, but unfortunately, it's for UK who's paying the price.
That was a little smart coming in from Ram over there because he had lost half of his HP, instantly dropping out, using the chrono, patching and then getting into the fight, letting his teammates get towards the safer spot. Now RDX have the safest spots, whereas for UK, they have to charge in.
Own
With the
team
bolt
பேரு
maker
என்ன bro?
being
என்
called
team
off,
பேரு
this
shot.
Jeet,
Kamala-
he was the MVP
Kamala
with the
boy.
VSK, knocks the player, will get the confirmation as well, but it's going
Kamala
to be
boy.
stolen. It is Kings. Kings steal it away. Now Jeet will not be happy about
Patas
it.
Bros, bro.
Will want another, but as soon as
Kamala
he
boy.
gets to know that the same
team
position where
Kamala boy,
4 UK were
இருங்க,
about to rush
மூஞ்சி
through,
எழுதிட்டு வரான்.
there is
பயங்கரமா
King's
தூக்குறாரு.
army as well. The team
அடேங்கப்பா,
who just
4 பேர்
made
ரெண்டு
their
பேரை
jump
வச்சுட்டு
from
போகணும்.
lumber
நல்லா
mill
இருக்குல்ல?
and towards the main compounds in the mainland of Purgatory. That is a position
அடேங்கப்பா,
not
4 பேர்.
great now. All of a sudden, from position being a stronghold to a position at down the hill, they're at a disadvantage.
நினைச்சு பாருங்களேன்
Jeet keeping the comms pretty
Tamil
clear.
commentators
They
பார்த்து
want the
சொல்றாங்க.
entire
யாரையா நீங்க?
head
அடேங்கப்பா, 4
of
பேரு.
King's army on a
திறமையா
silver
இருக்கீங்களே
plate.
அப்படின்னு
That's a really
Super
good
இருக்கு.
idea, but in order to execute, they need to go very close to
பார்த்த
this
பிளேஸ் யார்
one.
பார்த்தா நானு
Which I
ஹரி
don't
ப்ரோ
think so is
அனது
going to be possible, as
இவனும்
it's outside the circle, and
நிறையா
King's
இருக்கு
army,
சாண்டி
they're the ones who need to
வெறியா
rush
இருக்குது.
right in. But on the other end, we can see Navi.
பாஞ்சு அடிக்கிறோம் எல்லாத்தையும்.
If King's army heads all the way towards that direction, this is going to be
இப்போ
a
சப்போஸ்
beautiful
பட்டாஸ் ப்ரோ
fight.
செலக்ட் ஆயிருந்தீங்கன்னா
I would love to
வாட்ச்
see
பண்ணி
Django
நடந்திருக்காதுல
go all berserk.
இருந்திருக்காது.
Will they be able to? So far, Django's
வேற
found
நம்ம
nothing as a
பசங்க யாராச்சும்
sniper.
வாட்ச் பார்ட்டி
It's
போட
only
விட்டு
his teammates. Zedzor
போடுவாங்களா
with
அந்த
4
மாதிரி?
as well as Light with 2. Boltmaker again being used, and that is going to be trouble for King's army to get into the
Joke
circle.
வேணாம் தம்பியா.
But REX, because King's army decided to tread the other direction of the edge of the circle, they have a clear path for themselves. But for them to climb down the hill, it is going to be never a problem. Holding the river side,
நம்பிக்கை வைங்க
holding
bro.
the river front for themselves.
குவாலிஃபை
And
வாய்ப்பு
if they
இருந்துச்சு
are able to keep that circle's edge for themselves, it could be their
Actually,
booyah
that's
in the
one
mix. 4 eliminations in total. That's all
என்னடா
they've
நெப்ல
gotten. But
இவ்வளவு
in the
பொறுமையா
meantime,
ஆடுறாங்க.
Kings
இவ்வளவு
who
பொறுமையா
made
நெப்ல
their
ஆடவே
rush now,
மாட்டாங்களே.
they've jumped closer to Navilgaru.
தம்பி தப்பு
சொத்துனால இப்படி ஆகுது.
They have a nade that they
தெரியல.
did toss,
Panic
but the
இருக்காங்க
melt is
போல.
being used.
Oh,
As
the
Zone,
third party.
They have to watch their backlines as Elite Force have made their entrance.
Elite Force. Well, King's army is prepared for all of these shenanigans. They knew there was a car coming down the hill, and all of a sudden, it's a 3-way Mexican standoff. Through which there is no result just yet. The others just
ஓகே ஓகே தெரியும் எனக்கு எப்போ
trying to
தெரியும்.
analyze where the opponents are, and look at the way
Match
Kings are
எல்லாரும்
just
வீட்ல தான்
taking an
போய் உட்கார்ந்து
isolated fight. Navi, are they prepared for this?
குரூப் ஸ்டேஜ்க்கு தான் எல்லாம் கேமரா
6
வச்சிருப்பாங்களா?
eliminations King's army has, and the others just slowly trying to
camera
rack up
on
those
ல இருக்கும்.
points. And finally understanding that the opponents have encroached way too much.
அப்படியே photo வச்சிருக்காங்க.
Elite, you better be on your tracks.
ப்ரொடக்ஷன் எடுத்துக்க மாட்டாங்க.
They are, but I don't know what this play
Monitor
coming in
பண்றாங்க,
from
மட்டும்
King's
எடுத்துக்க
army
மாட்டாங்க,
is.
எடுத்துக்க மாட்டாங்க.
They did isolate, as you said,
Stall?
the fight, and they've cornered Navilugari. But as they try to get
Guys,
closer,
like
they're the
பாருங்க,
ones
like
who will be
போட்டு வரீங்க.
sandwiched because Navilugari,
YouTube ல
they've
பாருங்க, அப்படியே
fortified
கீழே
their
follow
front. They have a
பண்ணுங்க, follow
compound to
பண்ணுங்க.
hold off. And if this continues, it is going to be King's army in trouble, and it seems like they're backing off. They're giving Elite Force the space, and if they are able to corner Navilugari, it could be great. But Zedzor, he will be knocked. Thankfully, the glue walls will protect, will give them a chance, but they're losing HP. Valiant Dash being used, an opening found from Zedzor, but that's going to be the only opening. As Layden finds multiple players, one after another, trying to turn things around. Stark, unfortunately, falls on. Django had to steadfast, but he couldn't pan down the last man as well.
Lights
He
alive.
also falls from Elite Force, exchanges Light. This is his opportunity, makes a quick run, gives this fight away. On cover coming out, and he's going on a 1v3, and he'll not be able to do anything. One end, Kings will get eliminated. On the other end, Elite Force as well, and Navilugari, they come out strong out of this fight. All they had to hold was just that compound. 9 eliminations in total now. Quickly use the launch pad, make it back into the circle.
Hesitation is your biggest enemy. And that's what King's army is going to face right about now. The others, what a lovely repositioning. Kungri, he is not dropping any clanker. He has gone incognito. He wants to reposition and know where the locations are of UK. Currently, they have the fire on their logo, which means they're running rampant. They have the highest eliminations. 13 is what they have currently in this game of Purgatory. And slowly, they're just trying to rake up even more points. Lovely nade, but Kungri even more vigilant about where the projectile is reaching towards.
Holding the tent, making sure that 4UK do not get closer. Even though they're dishing out throwables, it's not finding an opening. And 4UK, they're the ones at the edge. They have an advantage. All they have to make sure is just like how the last fight played out. They have to hit in that direction. Again, another throwable being used, but nothing affecting Navilugari. And slowly, teammates are closing the distance, pushing the gap. Valen dash to destroy, but Gaurav and Saket, they fall together. 4UK Esports are able to hold. Roshan is the only one. Chrono being used. They'll instantly pick that player back up. And now players from Navilugari, 3 lost. And 1 last player somewhere in the mix made a jump. And he will try to bide time. But for how long? On the other end, 4UK, they survived the fight. They survived the onslaught. And now they have another ordeal to face, the play zone itself.
Gyan, he's still outside.
தெரியல சத்தியமா வரக்கான வாய்ப்பு இருக்கும்.
Nebula
நம்ம ஜெயிச்சிட்டோம் அப்படினா நம்ம மாத்தலாம் லோகோ
What
சொல்லலாம்.
happened? We have no
பட் ஆனா இந்த லோகோ நல்லா தான் இருக்கு. அப்புறம் என்ன அதுவே நல்லா தான் இருக்கு. எனக்கு இதுவே பிடிச்சிருக்கு.
Win that battle.
இன்ஸ்டால எல்லாம் மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் மாத்தணும்.
One last member standing and there you go.
மறுபடியும் அப்ளை பண்ணனும்.
Wipe clean. And for UK, they're taking fights left, back and center, winning them. And they have 17 eliminations on their name. What a lovely play. What a lovely way to just go in and be called the top 3 team. And wait a second. Yet again, RDX in the mix of top 3?
RDX
okay, RDX, I see what you guys are doing.
RDX
and look at them running around the ring of battle in this final fight.
கண்டிப்பா RDX தான வாய்ப்பே இல்ல வேற அந்த டீம்.
As well as but Aryan's brought back and instantly goes down as well. That's the chase coming in from RDX right behind enemy line. Dugo trying to holding the front. Aryan as well helping out, but it's going to be Ram and his teammate with the charge buster with the low HP instantly clean the opponents in a flash and get the second and a back to back here in Group C. It's a booyah again for them.
I do not know what's going on with RDX, but this team is blowing my mind apart. What a lovely way to call it the fight. And they were very patient till the very end. Total of 20 seconds. Alongside the bragging rights of getting back-to-back booyah. That is super important. And moreover, they have shattered the hopes plus the confidence of the other teams as well. Let's just directly head towards the last shot and see what just happened there. The entire action crumbled down. And for UK, like I just don't have no clue. Like for UK, they were super confident. 17 eliminations and they were just constantly running around trying to get those shots of M590 land on the heads of the opponent. But it did not happen because RDX is such a force to be reckoned.
RDX with a back-to-back. Let's take a look at their Booyah team stats. Rami team has to be the MVP, using the chrono with Joseph, having a Tiva and Nikita. And we were talking about this. Nikita has taken a little bit of a nerf and it's still working for players to use. Even Saksham has. Right, like killer back reverse final fight that we ended up seeing in the last shot that we saw was there. And that helped out with Ram to find their
இவன் ஜியா தான் bro தெரிஞ்சு போச்சு bro.
But this time he could do a lot compared to the previous game. He was there when needed because a lot more CQC was happening here in Purgatory and teams had to be up close and personal in their fights.
Sugar cut bro, உங்களுக்கு sugar ஆச்சு.
Who the financial wizard is of
சக்கரை போடாம டீ குடிங்க.
I have never seen anyone head towards the vending machine just to give a revival and whatnot. Even though they've been low-key very subtle about it. VSS, a very nice weapon I would say. Ram, he was constantly
bank போலாம்னு சொன்னா கூட ட்ரவுசர்லயே வரட்டேன்னு கேப்பேன்.
We have seen the meta.
யாரா ஹாஸ்பிடல் பார்க்க போறோம் நீங்க என்ன எப்படி மங்கலாம் எல்லா Dress எல்லாம் நீட்டா போவாங்களா? நான் ட்ரவுசரோட வரட்டேன்னு கேப்பேன்.
VSS, he just advantage.
Rose
Plus
Road
the
வரட்டா
entire
அப்படிங்க
meta, it's just working really
ரெண்டு
good for
பூயா
this team.
போட்டாங்களா?
But 4UK has beat the entire
ரெண்டு
team
பூயா back to
to
back
the
பூயா.
punch by getting couple of points more than RDX Esports.
Yeah, you mentioned it as well. They had so many eliminations going
Oh,
their
yeah.
way.
Nebula
Even that
player change
final fight that we were seeing between the top
Yeah.
three
அப்படி
teams,
இது பார்த்த
it was
வரலையே.
first for UK picking those eliminations against
அதே மாதிரி தான்
EXO.
இருக்காங்க.
And look at EXO, they have only 4 eliminations even after making it to that final
ஏய்
fight.
3
8
சாட்ல
placement
இருக்காரா
points,
தாலே
and therefore
3
they're in the
சாட்ல
top
இருக்காரா
six of this battle. Hims
எந்த
as
three?
well with a total of 12 points.
SH
Nebula at
or
13. Surprised that
3
Nebula was
யோ
left
வக்கால
out of
இருக்கியா
the
Three
சாட்ல
அஞ்சா,
what
three
happened
அஞ்சா.
because there was a lot of chaos in that
இல்ல,
battle.
இல்ல.
Naviluguru as well. A little bit of
வீடியோ
surprise
போட்டுக்கிறவன்
what
வந்து
happened
புளிங்கன்னு
because
மெசேஜ்
we
போட்டுறான்
saw
bro.
how
to the channel.
nicely
பாத்து
ஈகோ மா
so
ரோமியோ bro
first
thanks
we
for
see
the
that
goat
they fended
bro.
off two teams who were trying to hold them off. Elite Force as
புளிக்காம
well as
bro எப்படி
Kings
நான்
Army,
பறை
and
சேர
they
ஊத்தி
won
இருக்காங்க.
out both of it. So Naviluguri, them also making a total of 16 points, good enough. But after that, every team starts dropping to single digits.
Oh yeah. And there you go, the entire heat map, as we can see. For UK, lovely rotations, Moat House, then heading towards Ski Lodge. And it's like from north to the eastern side is for UK. And RDX is completely opposite. They would love to head towards the eastern side first and then head towards the southern side. Just to see where the opponents are heading towards, and then
எனக்கு
wherever
இந்த
they
map
can
இது
find
ரொம்ப
a player or
பிடிச்சிருக்கு bro
two,
இது.
catch them off guard, get the eliminations,
Circle
and then
try
stay inside
பண்ணோம்,
the
எடுக்க
circle
முடியல.
for a really long time.
அது இல்ல
Look at
இது
the
அந்த
repositioning.
வருதல மேப்ல வரத
Absolutely
சொல்றேன்.
top-notch
வரதுல
performance by
மேப்ல
RDX, analyzing, understanding, and then
அதான்
later on,
மேப்ல
even
வரதா
retreating
zone
from
close
those
ஆகுறதானே.
fights which are called
இல்லடா
bad
அந்த ஒரு
fights.
ஊரு பாம்பாட்ட
Yeah,
ஓடிட்டு வருது அது.
like we
Adua.
are seeing 4UK all over the map, right? They moved around,
yeah.
they look forward to information. They even had an early fight with RDX, and from there they had to make a jump in the other direction,
This
then
is
get back to the last
this-
circle, then
Jena
also
yaru?
look forward to another fight with
Yaru
RDX
solreenga?
itself. But that was not a fight that 4UK were
Ayna,
intending.
vaanga,
They wanted to
engage
eliminate
competition.
EXO and then get their points going through. Then maybe a 3v4 that they would have tried out, but RDX did not give them a chance at all. With that, let's see what chances have been done in the top 6 with the today's standings for Group C here on our day 3 of TEZ FFMIC 2026 fall, and RDX clearly outright topped the charts. 57 total points, 30 in the first game, second game getting 27. For UK, however, they've turned the tides instantly. We hope that they had a better game in game 1, but game 2 turned around. 42 total points. Eagle Elite, they've taken a little bit of a dip at 30. Hims Gaming at 28, sharing same points with EXO, and then
இது
coming in
full-ஆ
at the
வடக்கா
sixth
bro.
spot, who've just
இது
made
full-ஆ
their
எல்லா
new
டீமே
entry
நாட்
to top 6 is
தமிழ் டீம் இல்ல.
Naviluguri at a total of 25 points.
இங்கேஜி அடுத்த வாரம் bro.
You know, there's one thing. Nebula Esports has showcased something very brilliant, right? They were at the smack bottom. They had no points in the first game whatsoever. And in the second game, bam! Such lovely performance coming through. I do understand it was sudden instincts coming in. The impulse just took the benefit of the entire situation. But overall, they handled
இது நல்லா
it
இருக்குதா
pretty
இல்ல
neatly. And that's
இது நல்லா
like the
இருக்குதா
veteran
guys?
team that we usually see,
First
right?
இது வந்து first
Having
னு
the
வெச்சுக்கோங்க.
experience under their belt,
First ஆ
even
இல்ல
analyzing
இந்த
the
second ஆ?
situations, and then going ahead and addressing it as well. So let's see how well they can address in the next following game. And in this one,
நல்லா
I
இருக்குது.
have picked
Face.
yet again
Filter
Nebula
எல்லாமே நல்லா தான்
Esports
இருக்கு.
alongside RDX and King's Army. So these are my top 3 picks. Well, viewers, you can go ahead and tell yours as well.
இல்ல ஒரே மாதிரி
Lucifer, I
தான்
would love to
இருந்துச்சு.
know yours too.
Difference
Yeah, I've gone in for EXO, for UK, and Eagle Elite. EXO I've been seeing. They've been trying to make sure they get the booyah individually as well. Their battles looking
Okay,
so
இப்படியே
good.
வச்சிரவா,
For
okay.
UK in that similar stance as well. While RDX have
25th
taken
வந்து
away the
RBZ
show
க்கு
itself in the start of these
26th
game
வந்து
1 and 2.
PVS
I've not
bro.
taken their names because I feel like now they've gotten to a
25,
very consistent
26
point that I don't have to be
24.
worried. These are the teams that I'm looking at. If they end up getting a booyah as we are jumping towards Kalahari, this is Sniper's Haven. This is the land where there is no rest. It is just unrest where teams are unsure of where they're getting shot from.
Oh yes, Kalahari. A lovely map where grappling hook is just going to help a lot of teams to reposition, get the height advantage. And this map is so unique in itself. I just love
டாடு
it, man.
உன்னை யாரு bro ஒயிட் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண
There's
சொன்னா?
always this question, right, in
அது
my
ஒரு
head.
பறையத்தினாயே ஒரு 3 பேர்
There
காணுங்க
you
bro.
go, the answer is right in front of us.
சித்தார்த்,
The maze.
சரண், பிரேமனே.
3 teams. All right.
ஒருத்தன் கல்யாணம்
The
பண்ணிட்டான்.
most populated
ரெண்டு நாய்
spot
இருக்குது
of
அந்த
the
ரெண்டு 3
entire
நாய்கள்
map.
சேர்ந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு சொல்லுச்சு.
So imagine
Five
the
years
kind of
voting for-
rotations teams are going to do. There's only one vending machine, surprisingly, Lucifer, that 3 teams are going to share. So you never know which team might just end
இல்ல
up
bro
being
அந்த
like,
டீம் தான் இது
you know
பண்ணிட்டாங்கல்ல.
what? Sir, you.
அந்த டீம்
after
இப்போ
you,
மொத்தமா
I'm
இது
gonna head
பண்ணிட்டாங்க
there
bro.
and all of a sudden the team is extinct. So
டீமுக்குள்ள பிளேயர்ஸ்க்குள்ள ஏதோ பிரச்சனையா?
I don't think that much of a chivalry is going to be maintained
பிரச்சனைனால
there
இது
to
பண்ணாங்க. கோவா ப்ரோ
Biusa
சொன்னாரு.
next because Kalahari is the one of land where nobody expects anybody, but there is always somebody right next door. But I'm surprised to see the Mammoth, the Sub, Stone Ridge, all of it empty. But we know these preferred drop spots is just a very direction that we are being spinned off.
என்னோட லைஃப் ட்ரெய்னிங்
Nothing
அவங்கதானே?
else other than
ஆமா bro.
just an exemplary hit that maybe we can expect.
ப்ரோ
that these
எப்படி
drop
சொல்றது?
spots is something
நான்
that
அந்த
they
2
cater
வருஷம்
to.
இருக்குல்ல
However,
அதுதான்
we know
எனக்கு
teams,
கஷ்டமா
once they
இருந்துச்சு.
know
அப்போ
they have trouble,
கடந்த ஒரு
they have
வருஷமாவே
their
கஷ்டமா
secondary
இருக்கு.
drop
இப்போ
spots
இந்த
as well.
மாசம் இப்போ
They will
நான்
tend in that
இருக்கிறதுனால
direction. And now
டீம்
with
குவாலிஃபை
Kalahari
ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் இப்படி
play, and
இருக்கிறதுனால நீங்க
especially we are
நினைக்கிறீங்க
about to
நான்
reach
இந்த
our halfway
இந்த
mark. This is
700
game
700 கே வந்து 800 கே
This
வரைக்கும்
is
எவ்வளவு
Kalahari.
ஆயிருக்கு இன்னும் 800 கே
Your
வரைக்கும் என்ன
chances
2
are
கே
now
இருக்குது
half in
அது
play.
வரைக்கும்
Whether you
கிட்டத்தட்ட
survive, whether you make sure you win it,
9-10 மாசம்
make
ஆயிடுச்சு.
sure your points answer
என்ன?
for all of it that you do.
நான்
at the end of
esports குள்ள வராம
Kalahari.
இருந்து esports
The fight
தூக்காம
is for the
சப்போர்ட்
top
பண்ணாம
6
இருந்ததுனா
and this is
நான்
already
எப்போ
halfway. So go
அதை
ahead,
எடுத்திருப்பேன்.
think
நேரம் 1 மில்லியனுக்கு மேல போயிருப்பேன்.
which team you want to take the fight against, who you want to fight, but what is going on? Today there's a pattern, Lucifer. I don't know, it's
Yeah.
because we both are on desk that every single
தப்பு
map
பண்ணிட்டேன்.
is dissected in
இருந்தாலும் எனக்கு
half
பிடிச்சிருக்குது.
complete. Okay. It's just a pattern, man.
ப்ரோ எப்படி என்கேஜி வின் பண்ணிடும் ப்ரோ பிசி மட்டும் பில்ட் பண்ணி கொடுத்துருங்க ப்ரோ யாருக்கு
I agree.
எடிட்
I'm
வெர்ஸ்
also
தமிழ்
worried if that's the
டேய்
case. Giving everybody
Hey,
a
Nanda
chance,
Rani, dey.
evening it out, and you can see
நானே இங்க
Nilugari, they
ஒண்ணு
spotted
இல்லாம
a team
இருக்கேன்டா
who
நீ
decided
வேற
to take a dive early and therefore instantly
யா
turned
அந்த
the
மாதிரி யார்
direction.
ஏச்சா
However, Hims,
ஏ
they spotted at
இங்க
Sadik
பாருடா
Arena.
டேய்
Elite
எடிட்
force. Thankfully, both are into different
என்கேஜ் ஆற
combos, but
மேட்ச் எல்லாம்
shots
வேணா எடிட்
already
பண்ணி கொடு
exchanged. Devil
அதுக்கு
will
என்ன
have to
கொடுக்கறனோ
back
அதையே
off.
கொடுத்துறேன்
His
என்ன
teammate
சொல்ற
Asset has already picked up
Okay
an AK
வா.
and he's trying to hold off, making sure Elite Force don't get closer. But
ஆனா நீ
M80
உட்கார்ந்து
to
பார்க்கணும்
be
அதுக்கெல்லாம்
on
கண்டென்ட் எல்லாம்
cover,
சொல்ல முடியாது
he'll make sure that nobody
நீதான்
gets
உட்கார்ந்து
out of
பார்க்கணும்
cover from the side
என்ன
of
சொல்ற
Hims, and if they do, it's going to be an instant shot and a knock.
Lovely weapon there, M82B. This weapon is beautiful. You can crack open
நான் தான் ஜெயிச்சேன்
skulls
சிவா ப்ரோ
through
நான்
the
தான்
blue
ஜெயிச்சேன்
wall,
சுரேந்திராவது
so the
மயிராவது
penetration
அவனையெல்லாம்
is super
தோக்கடிச்சிட்டேன்
good and
பறையச்செல்லாம்
on cover.
தோத்துறாங்கடா
He already has a beautiful weapon in his
அவன்
hand.
ஒரு
I would love to
ஆளுன்ட்டு.
see how well he can perform right about now. Elite Force, they just
பானே
can't
ஒரு
keep tabs
சபையும்
on where
bro.
the opponents are. AB7 right in front, and AB7, he is running clean. I don't think so he's going to take any shot, but the moment I said that, 187 is what I could see on the
எங்க அம்மா அடுப்புல குழம்பு சுட வச்சுட்டு அப்படியே கடைக்கு போயிட்டாங்க ஒரு 1/4 மணி நேரமா அடுப்புல வெடிஞ்சிட்டு
Pushing
இருக்காரு
up.
என்னாச்சு?
Nice one. He
நல்ல வேளை
finds the
தீயல.
knock as well. The cord works out in his favor. Now Ishan has to
தோசை
help him
யா?
out.
தீந்து
They're
இருந்துச்சுன்னா
making
எப்பயாவது
even
கேட்பாங்க
Panda
எது
as
தீய
well.
விட்டேன்னு
AB7,
சொல்லவே இல்ல
he's held just behind the tree, nothing much to work.
என்ன
Tosses
சாப்பாடு
a
என்ன?
nade, but he's tossing it all below. The players are up above, and he
ஏய்,
will
கேக்குதா?
as well. Nice vector hit coming through.
சாப்பாடு
These
என்ன
dual
தோசையா?
weapons, when they're up close and
தோசையா தான்
personal in
இருக்கும்.
your close combat, you
வழக்கம்
can
போல
do
தோசை தான்.
nothing.
எப்பவுமே
And elite
தோசை தான்
force
night.
coming out as the elite players right here
எப்பயாவது
around
தூங்க
Santa
மாட்டீங்களா?
Catarina get 3 eliminations for themselves and instantly activate a hit list. They thought
இல்ல,
they
எப்பயாவது
would
தான்.
find the last player, but it is no.
மீதினா
It's a
தோசை.
complete different team. Elite Force better be ready, and that's going to be for UK Esports. The
ஏன்னா
top 4
தோசைக்கு மாவு
teams
இருக்கு.
in the both games that we had.
அதனால
கொஞ்சம் இங்க இருக்கு.
அதனால தான் கேக்குறேன்
For UK, they were super prepared. The hit list, it's helping a lot, getting to know where the opponents
முட்டை
are.
தோசை எல்லாம்
Laid in
சாப்பிடுவீங்களா?
blind,
எனக்கு
right in
ஜெர்சி வேணும்,
front,
டீலா.
and he's been
இல்ல,
laid
அனைத்து வகையான
clean.
தோசையும்
ஜெர்சியா
சுடலாம்
சரி
வீட்ல.
He's
வாங்கிக்கலாம்
begging for
அழுவாத
mercy, but Elite Force,
முட்டை தோசை,
they
பொடி
are
தோசை, நெய்
retreating
புட்சோ
தோசை
கைஸ்
from this
பிரைமரி
fight.
வெக்டர்
With the
டீம்
confidence with
விட்டு
which
ஆனா
போயிட்டாரு
Enquiry
யாரு
forward,
புட்சோல
thinking that they're gonna
கைஸ்
take
முட்டை
the
வேணும்.
fight against for
ஏன்
UK.
போயிட்டாரு
It's the same
ஐயோ.
speed they're hitting the
பொடி
reverse
வேணும்.
button.
Yeah, they
நெய்
have
தோசைக்கு
to.
நெய் வேணும்.
நெய்
They
தோசைக்கு
thought it was
நெய்
the
வேணும்.
last player, and as soon as they saw multiple players taking a hit, they understood, hey, our hit list got activated to a complete
கொடுத்து
wrong
வச்சவன்
team.
மாவு
It
கடைக்கார
was
மாவன்
not on the last
அந்த
player that we
வீட்டுக்கு
were hunting
மருமகளா
on.
வர போற
And they
பொண்ணுக்கு தான்
have to
ஜாலி
get back in cover.
தோசை இட்லி
Panda
பண்ற
helps out.
மாதிரி
ஆமா,
Nice
தோசை
hit
இல்ல
on Akhil, who was little
செம்ம இல்ல
ahead
தோசை
from
சுடு
the
கொடுத்து
players of
படுத்துக்கலாம் கம்முனு
for
விட்டுறலாம்
UK. Try to play the
நான்லாம்
game a
bro,
little
நான்
too
கல்யாணம் பண்ண
forward.
மாட்டேன்
And Elite Force
நான்
will be
பாட்டுக்கு
ஆகாது.
able to get at least
ஆகாது.
one in exchange. Now for UK Esports instantly stall their fight. Only
சத்தியமா
one of
bro
the
நான்
players in the
சொல்லிட்டேன் bro
close
ஓகேன்ட்டாங்க bro
vicinity.
யாரு
Players.
இல்லையா
And he will
வம்சத்தை
hit
பெருக்க
work
வேணாமாடா
out. I
நீ
did not think that was going to be possible.
தேவையில்ல
Pulls
bro.
out a shot. He goes
Oh!
for the second. He gets that as well.
சரியான
Goes in for
shot.
a confirmation, making the wounds even
காலு
deeper.
ஓ சூப்பர் ப்ரோ டிக்யூ ஓ மை காட்
That is a 1v3 that he's done. Doggo with the M1887. Just those 2 shots of a shotgun shell wounding deeper and deeper on Elite Force.
Oh my
always.
goodness,
So UK
seriously,
had
bro.
Smoking gun, Dugu digging graves. And this is a lovely start. It's going to give a lot
என்ன அடி bro அந்த குரோனாக்குள்ள வந்து பாத்தீங்களா ஒரு ஹெட் ஷாட்.
Yet again eyeing for yet another elimination point. And this team, their fundamental things are very clear. Earlier on, go for some really nice maneuvers, get those elimination points, and later on towards the game, it doesn't matter whether you.
Arey last team I am made on your live. Your live, I am totally love it. Thank you.
Favorable fight to go completely run out.
Okay.
And right now another opportunity.
Live.
4UK are closing the distance.
Bye money bro, India Cup win
4UK have no idea about it. Aryan ready, but he gets knocked. The P90 proving superior in the fire rate, and he will be taken down.
என்ன கேட்டாலும் வாங்கி தரலாம் bro.
Lost two of his teammates in that exchange.
bro இப்போ என்னால என்ன முடியுமோ நான் வாங்கி கொடுப்பேன். கேட்டா இல்லன்னு சொல்ல மாட்டேன்.
Not much.
புலம்போனா தவிர அது இல்லன்னு சொல்ல மாட்டேன். என்னால கடன் வாங்கியே வாங்கி கொடுத்துறேன். கடன் வாங்கி எல்லாம் வாங்கிடுவேன்.
While SMX Sagar thought he'll be able to recover his team.
இப்போ ஐபோன் கேடானா ஐபோன் முடியல ஒரு IQ வாங்கி தருவேன். அந்த மாதிரி தான் அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணிக்கணும் தவிர அது இல்லாம எதுவும் பண்ண மாட்டேன். S24 கேட்டா
6 eliminations getting the
காசு இல்ல அதுக்கு அவ்வளவு காசு இல்ல.
Max 7 you cannot do anything. Excuse me, light. Being the bomber of the team, he wants the height advantage. All right, I do understand. I actually think that it's something that a sniper needs to look forward towards. But sure, he was just checking those quarters, seeing whether there is any opponent or not. King's Army, they're playing it very skeptical.
bro உங்களுக்கு என்கேஜ் மணிக்கு ஒண்ணே நினைச்சா யார் வின் பண்ணுவா? கண்டிப்பா நான் தான். அரேனா மாம் ரொட்டேஷன் கேம்ல இருக்கு ஆனா நீ விளையாடுற கேம் கூட
but it's all clean. They have made sure refinery is all theirs. There is one vending machine as well.
PG audience மாதிரி நமக்கு ஒரு audience கண்டிப்பா வருவாங்க bro.
As well and very early stages.
IQ bro
surviving on fire.
audience வராங்களா இல்லையா IQ வந்தாங்க நல்லா இருக்கும்.
They show a little
யார் வந்தாலும் ஏத்துக்குவேன்.
who have just I would say revamped themselves after an favorable fight back and forth that they had.
வாங்க bro brave browserல பாக்குற எனக்கு ஆட் வருது. அப்போ உங்களுக்கு AdSense காசு வருமா?
SMX it seems like they
எதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா காசு வரும். ஆட் வந்துச்சுனா காசு வரும்.
Even after almost losing players found one Navilugari.
ஏன் வரக்கூடாதுன்னு ஆசைப்படுறீங்களா ஆண்டனி bro?
The losses that were
வரக்கூடாதுன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களா என்ன?
will at least
எனக்கு புரியலையே.
on the other end on fire they've not even found one elimination. Playing around Bayfront for
height line undu இன்னைக்கு தான் ஸ்கிரபிளா
ஸ்கிரிபிள் against Navilugari 2v1 he has to isolate Gaurav is giving him a chance but he is running away. I think his intent is going for maybe SMX don't have the numbers.
அவர் யாட் வரலன்னு சொல்றாரா?
chance to go for a fight.
யாட் வரலன்னு சொல்ல
the coins and there he is.
அவர் பிரேவ் ப்ரோ சொல்ல
பாருங்க வராதுன்னு சொல்றீங்களா? bro அது தெரியல bro அது வாட்ச் ஹவர்ஸ்க்கு வரும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அப்போ
all the four players are up and
வாட்ச் ஹவர்ஸ்க்கு வரும் இன்னைக்கு வராது.
Viper he gets knocked and finally Rayan will be traded. Almost look like
that was
a lost cause even from Navilugari.
RBCக்கு வந்து 25
completely opening up the mouth.
வாட்ச் பண்ணி நானே போடுவேன் bro வாங்க அந்த
but unfortunately it's just
daily வருவேன்.
Count disadvantage for him and on the other end is for UK.
VG
you know this team once they start they never end at all and elite yet again in the
hey guys அந்த 12 send பண்ணி விடுங்க guys அதெல்லாம் வேஸ்டா தான் guys போகுது.
one player at least but the recovery is not going to be that good.
Anthony Flex bro watch hoursக்கு வரும். Anthony Flex bro இதுக்கு வராது ஆடுக்கு வராது நினைக்கிறேன். watch hoursக்கு வரும் but
I have no idea. He's Houdini.
Right under the noses and now they're trying
watch
to
hoursக்கான வரும்.
travel right behind him. On cover AWM
sorry Anthony bro தப்பா எடுத்துக்காதீங்க. நான் ஒரு இதுல நீங்க எனக்கு படிக்க தெரியாது தற்குறி நானு.
it's okay on
தப்பா எடுத்துக்காதீங்க. நான் ஒரு தற்குறி.
things like this happen you don't have to
25-26 தமிழாலகன் bro
on your own hit.
sorry sir நான் ஒரு தற்குறி.
something to be worried about is going to be King's Army as
thank you VGRB bro thanks for the
from the side of SMX spot him out in the open
gift bro thank you so much
King's Army even after having 8 eliminations getting majority of the hits here, still have lost players. It's only Zedzor who has 4. He looks
okay bro Anthony bro தப்பா எடுத்துக்காதீங்க Anthony bro
the heavy hitter.
இப்போ என்ன கேம் விட்டுருவாங்க பட் இருந்தாலும் சொல்றேன் தப்பா எடுத்துக்காதீங்க. நான் பாட்டுக்கு ஏதோ சொல்லிட்டேன்.
expected from their end. Navilugari
Anthony bro நல்லா இருக்கு.
taking a launch pad.
நான் தான் கொஞ்சம் கேவலமா
even let a single bullet.
NKG time table starts live update பண்ணுங்க. time table நீங்க என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா கிளாஸ் பீரியட்ல நடக்குது. time table போட்டு கொடுக்கறதுக்கு
complete different direction.
மேட்ச் வந்து ரேண்டமா சபிள் பண்ணி தான் गाइस போடுவாங்க. ஓகேவா?
But finally Nebula Esports
சபிள் பண்ணி தான் போடுவாங்க. Thanks for the lobbing disco bro. Siv
lot
bro.
of commotion,
இன்னும்
a
900
lot of
வச்சிருக்கீங்களா? இன்னும்
eliminations,
700
and for
வச்சிருக்கீங்களா Siv
UK,
bro?
they have been completely
அனுப்பிச்சுடுங்க
nullified
Siv
in
bro கொஞ்சம்.
RDX. They are here to go ahead and take down Team EX. So
Arina
shots
thanks for 6 on.
taken right here, but Cheat and Saksham, they both
Yeah,
are
ஆறானுடா,
holding the
பயங்கரமா
fort
ஆறானுங்க
right about
RDX.
now, and the revival given instantly.
கடைசி
Alex,
இவனுக்கு தான் fight வரும்.
he's
இப்பயே
been taken
முடிச்சிட்டாங்க.
down. He just took a misstep, and there you go.
தெரிஞ்சு இந்த மேட்ச் போய் நினைக்கிறேன்
ஆறு கார் போட போறான்னு தோணுது எனக்கு என்னமோ.
Running away on the bike.
இங்க பாரு டேய், யாருக்குடா அந்த மனசு வரும் டேய்? யாருக்குடா அந்த மனசு வரும்? நினைச்சு பாருங்களேன், ஆண்டனி ப்ரோ போயிட்டு ப்ரோ இந்த மனசுக்கு தான் ஆண்டனி ப்ரோ நீங்க வந்து ஒன் டாப் லெஜெண்டா இருக்கீங்க. என்ன? அதான் அதுதான் ஆண்டனி ப்ரோ, அந்த மனசு இருக்குது பாருங்க. சூப்பர் ஆண்டனி ப்ரோ. அந்த 150 இன்னும் பேலன்ஸ் இருக்கு, அதையும் மன்னிச்சு விட்டுருங்க பாப்போம். Thank you bro. Sanjay bro, thank you so much bro. Prime bro, thank you for that. The மனசு யாருக்கு வரும்?
Which has never given them an option to a fight which works in their favor. Same for on fire now. Elite Force only one exchange. Worthless also goes down. So Elite Force are turning the tides around, but finally Dishu comes in play. He puts the players down and pushes Elite Force out of the compound and on cover. He could not provide any cover at all. We had the sniper, but unfortunately everybody had a fight inside closed walls. The windows did not give enough spaces of view to knock the players of on fire, and on fire will win that 3 players, get those 3 eliminations as their very first 3.
The field is set though. Look at the way they have placed blue walls. Doesn't matter where the opponents are going to come
எல்லாம்
from.
முடிச்சிட்டு பண்ண
Doesn't
சொல்றாரு
matter
ஒரு
where the
பொறுமையா.
sniper has already
PSP வந்தா போய்
been
வாங்கி
moved
வச்சிருங்க
towards.
ப்ரோங்கறாரு.
The corners have been completely blocked. And King's army, well, one player already nullified, Django. He has been chained yet again. Whenever I
Thank
see
you so
this
much
dude,
Prime
I
bro.
swear
Thanks
to
for
God,
a disco.
I
Siv
swear
bro,
to
அனுப்பிச்சுடுங்க
God,
Siv bro.
But he just
ஏ
constantly
ஸ்டாப் போயிரு
gets
Siv bro, இந்த
chained
மாசம்
again and
முடிஞ்சினா
again.
அது அனுப்பிச்சுடுங்க Siv bro.
Regardless,
வணக்கமே
irrespective
கோச்
of
வாங்க
the opponent.
கெவின் ப்ரோ அந்த மாதிரி சொல்லி தான் நீ
But right
கமெண்ட்ல
now, King's
கிழிச்சாங்க எல்லாரும்.
army, they take down Gaurav from Naviluguri, and Naviluguri this time not looking
யாஸ்
as
கெவின்
great.
ப்ரோ இப்படி பண்றீங்க?
Their feathers not flaunting. And the King's army, they are the ones who are getting the better of it. 10 total eliminations. Again trying to take a hit.
டேய் நீ வடி வாங்க நாம
Tried his
இருக்கா?
best with the dash, but he'll just fall to his knees.
டேய்
His
யார்
teammates
வந்தாலும் இனிமே அண்ணன்
activate the
டென்ஷன் ஆக
claw,
போறதில்ல.
but he will also fall. AB's by Gungri. Gungri gets 2 from the side of King's army.
ஒரே
They were not
நிமிஷம்
even ready for it, and now Viper has put the side of King's army in their own knees to succumb to the wounds, and Zedzor will also fall, and within a blink of an eye where King's army looks super strong, they've lost. It started with Gungri and now ending with Viper.
Naviluguri is very wicked. These lads were just standing there looking for an opening, and the moment they found it, there you go. Eliminations after eliminations. Sweeping others' eliminations or the knocks on their. In the midst of all of that, they've been completely eliminated. Not a good sight for them. Nebula on the other end, they are on a very good start, taking fights against on fire. On fire, well, the momentum is completely off for them, but still they have 3 eliminations, and I'm hoping that they can get more from that. Oh, on cover, there is even Elite Force from the back lines taking shots against one team. Dishu, is he the last member standing? Yes, he was, and he has been eliminated as well. The entire team of On Fire could not get the grip of.
கேடுது உங்களுக்கு தான்
We have
கேட்கலாம்
30
நினைக்கிறேன்.
seconds on the clock. This is the 4th circle, and this is how teams will be falling down like flies, one after another.
அந்த
Discard
பின்னு
Viper
ஏதோ
is getting swatted, and right now Nebula Spark quick dash with his vehicle.
பின்னு
Is it going to be
ஏதோ
enough?
பிரச்சனை
EXO, they've lost the player, but quick revive coming
round
in from
பின்னா.
EX, and even a chrono being activated. So Patlu and Swaroop
USD
are on their
பின்னா.
own.
ஆமா
Spark
ஒண்ணு
and
தான்டா
able to
குத்துறா
do
நீங்க
it.
தான்டா
So
ரெண்டு
Swaroop
குத்தி
has to
வச்சிருக்கீங்க
make a
எனக்கெல்லாம்
run.
ஒண்ணு தான்டா.
Thankfully, quick exchange did happen.
laptop
Varun,
குத்தி தான்
he
ஆகணும்.
will be able to put Patlu down, and things
Thanks
are
for
not
the
looking great
Silver,
for
thanks for
Nebula.
700
The
Iceland.
recovery was only
வாங்க
12
வாங்க
points,
Silver,
and now
அப்படியே
they've
பாருங்க.
got 12
Come on,
in
come on,
total
come back
eliminations
கொடுங்க ஜி.
itself, making it even more. Spark and Tiger, they bring it back, take down the players from
Nebula
EXO,
அடிச்சானுங்களா?
and the last one
அவ்வளவுதான்டா,
standing,
Nebula
Varun, he
வந்துட்டானுங்கடா.
will also be swept out at Arsenal, and Nebula will survive that onslaught.
ரிவே பண்ண போறான் பாரு ஸ்வாரப் போய் ரிவே பண்றான் ஒரு டீம்
Battle it out till the
போறான்
very
பாரு.
end. It was like, where is this going?
இங்க குட்டி
What
போடா.
did Nebula Esports do?
பட்லு இறங்குனானா கதையே வேற நீங்க.
Well, experience.
பத்லு.
It's speaking right about now, and Swaroop is going for the revival. Where is the nearest?
ரெண்டு மேட்ச் எலிமினேட் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எவ்வளவு மாத்துறானுங்க பாரு கிருன்னு.
I believe Patlu being in the rusher role, he's playing it little bit
Welcome to
underconfident. I've seen
NKG
him go
Anthony
even
Flex
more
analyst.
berserk, but this is
என்ன
not
பண்றாரு?
the kind of Patlu that I've seen
NKG
before.
Anthony Flex analyst.
I believe there might be
ஏய்
some
அவர்
kind of
அனலிஸ்டா டேய் அவரு உண்மையாலுமே அவர் நல்லா
understanding issue.
கரெக்டா எல்லாமே சொல்றாரா
What is going on?
வந்து
But
நீ
I'm
பேசாம
பொறாமையா இருக்குது
real
பொறாமையா இருக்குது ஆண்டனி ப்ரோ
But also I think
எனக்கு
it
மட்டும் தான்
could be
எல்லாம்
just
இதெல்லாம் தெரியும்
being
நினைச்சேன்
a
உங்களுக்கு
little
தெரியும்
very
நினைக்கும் போது
okay.
பொறாமையா
We
தான்
got in the
இருக்கு
call,
சத்தியமாலுமே
but maybe
சொல்றேன்
the
Avoid
players
பண்ணிருக்கலாம்,
ahead of
இதை avoid
us
பண்ணிருக்கலாம்.
with them playing edge to edge. So maybe Nebula, that's why they
ஏய் உண்மையாலுமேடா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் அந்த வீடியோ பார்த்து அந்த யுனைட்டட் தானே அந்த வீடியோ பார்த்துட்டு பொறாமப்பட்டேன்
Eagles
நான் சொல்லலாம் நினைச்ச எல்லாத்தையும் சொல்லி வச்சிருந்தாரு
putting down one of the players from Nebula. It's still a knock, not much.
Oh, lovely nade parade.
மூணு நேடு வெஸ்ட் உள்ள
Navilugari have cornered is RDX.
உள்ள
How
யாரும்
in the back to back, but still
RDX
Ram
சக்க போடு
18
போறானுங்க
will put
உக்காரி.
Gaurav down. Chrono is being used, but I don't think Gaurav will be brought back to life. Saksham spots that Gaurav somehow got recovered. Ram 18 again on the hit with the help of his teammates. They
வெளிய வேற
will be
third
able
party
to
பண்ண
put
பாக்குறான்.
Navilugari down. Confirmation.
Touchdown.
Saket in a
Ram
1v1 with
அடிச்சுவாரு.
Ram 18 and Ram 18 holding it off.
Ram,
Damage being done. Playing
வெட்டுங்க.
it on the Chrono.
Oh.
This damage. Ram 18 will be good for one. Instantly
பக்கத்துல.
gets exchanged. Now
ஐயோ.
Saksham, he does
அவங்க
not
voice
spot the
சரியில்லை,
enemy
நான்
behind
சத்தியமா
his
சொல்றேன்.
back and he will be
Huh?
taken down. And
RDX இப்பதான் நல்லா ஆடுறாங்க,
Navilugari,
நாங்க
they
செத்துட்டோம்.
managed to put down
RDX
RDX.
ஏன்டா 72 பாயிண்ட் எடுத்துட்டானு மூணு மேட்ச்ல பத்தாடா யாரா நீ டேய்
இப்போ சொன்னீங்களா
RDX, they had the opportunity, but not
Why
this
with
time,
the
says Navilugari. Lovely performances as they're contesting for the circle and they're fighting it tooth and nail. Oh boy, the competition is just getting even better game after game. I envy the other two casters for this.
காட்ல இருக்கும்
It is
சிங்கோ
getting
எங்க
better and
ஹரியனா
better, and
பங்கோ
now they will have an opportunity to make the last
And in
calls
bro,
happen in the
Nete,
last 3 games.
next,
Garena, SMX,
match
as
in
Eagle,
Indonesia,
Elite,
channel
they
list.
get players one after
Next
another in
time
their
match,
favor. 10 eliminations in total. Egg is the one who's
Next time
got a
match,
majority
போடு,
along
போடு,
with
கேளு,
Beast
அவர்கிட்ட
at
கேளு.
5. Closing the distance now, Nebula.
Proposal
We
பண்ணா
already
idea
spoke.
கொடுங்க.
They are on a man disadvantage.
தெரியல bro, எனக்கு தெரியல
Drivers
bro.
being used. Ice maybe prickles them.
அவர் full-ஆ
Maybe
பண்ணிக்காரு.
damages them, but somehow they
Tenth
do
தானே,
not get
படிச்சு
affected by the shards coming in from the ice. And they hold
போக்ஸ்க்கு
it.
போக்ஸோல போயிடுடா தம்பி சிவபெருமாளே போக்ஸோல போயிடுவே
Picks Navilugari, the last player Gaurav gets the confirmation.
எப்ப வேணாலும் போலீஸ் பிடிக்கிற அபாயத்துல இருக்கிற நீ எல்லாம்
Puts egg
ஐயோ
down.
அடிபற இங்க
Oh!
Now Nebula make their own jump happen behind enemy lines and they have no idea. Spark
அவளோபாரி நெப்லா Esports dominating the whole lobby guys
put to rest with
அவங்க
their
கீழ
wings
இன்னொரு
clip.
டீம் இருக்குது உள்ள
Instant karma. They thought that this
நாலு பேர் ஒரே மாதிரி ஜம்ப் பண்ணி போனாங்க பாத்தியா
they're never gonna
அதான்.
come back up, but 3 members instantly pushing right in. Nebula Esports, they have all
அப்படியே
the
அவங்களுக்கு
4
கீழ 4 பேர்
members alive
நெப்லா தான் இந்த
and
மேட்ச் இந்த
kicking.
மேட்ச் என்ன
SMX
ஆனாலும் நெப்லா தான்டா
below
பாறா
them. But the opportunities, it's slowly going to hinder. Spark HP low, but instantly fixes himself. But does he get the time? He does. SMX is just ignoring him.
உண்மையா அந்த
And he's
பசங்களால
gonna
ஒண்ணுமே பண்ண
follow
முடியாது
up
இப்போ
all
நெப்லா தான்
this
டாமினேட் பண்ணுவாங்க
commotion.
உறுதியா
Patlu on
சொல்றேன்
the other end, HP low, but it doesn't
ஏதோ
matter.
இல்லைன்னு
Those
தோணுது
eliminations are coming through.
எடுத்துருவாங்க
SMX
நெப்லா
can
தான்
create this thing to perfection, nullifying
வராங்க,
each and every player of Nebula Esports until 2 are left. Patlu
போடு.
still stuck.
Oh, Patlu! Patlu, you are crazy, man. Oh my God.
Patlu has taken, and the player goes away. The entire team has been faded. Where is Sagar? He had to provide support for the team, but no, he says he's still inside the circle, surviving.
டேய் அவனே அந்த பசங்க ஆடுவானுங்கடா ஜாலியா ஆடுவானுங்கடா அந்த
Extreme game
மேட்ச்
being pulled out by Patlu with the sign, and now Sagar left to pick up the crumbs on his own. New era, they've never made it to the top four, and this time they are. So there's an opportunity there at a distance, but the Riptide
இல்ல அதுக்கு பதிலா பேமெண்ட் கொடுத்துறாரு bro அவரு
so gets back into the chrono. Thanks
ஆதி பிரம்மன் bro தான் ஆதி பிரம்மன் போட்டு நான் இப்பவே டீமுக்கு 20000 வாங்கிட்டேன்.
Now Fluxo understands that Sagar is all on his own and picks that fight, gets that elimination. That is going to be
3-4
an
எடுப்பாங்க,
added
2
here for New
எடுப்பாங்க.
Era. 3 versus 2 here, advantage for New Era to close this. However, Nebula, we just saw Patlu of
அஞ்சே
how
கிலோ
he
எடுத்துட்டாங்க இந்த
played.
மேட்ச்
Amit
போய் ரொம்ப
trying to hold
முக்கியம்
them off in a distance, but now Amit, he has trouble. Both the players from Nebula up close
ஸ்னைப்பர்
and ready.
ஒருத்தர் பட்டு மட்டும் தான் சாட்
Well,
இருந்துச்சு
Patlu, he's just getting prepped up, instantly healing himself, AC-80 in hand, and he would love to connect at least one shot to the head.
போட்டு ஒருத்தர் ஓடி
That's what he's waiting for.
பார்க்கலையா?
Here the player coming in. Yes, Amit repositioning, and he has heard his
மணி நான்
footsteps.
தேவலா வாழ்ற
Nebula is
டைகர்
not prepared for this, but Tiger, one deadly maneuver, and the entire team's fate crumbles down to just a tiny sliver. 68% is what New Era has.
இருப்பான்,
Made
இருப்பான்,
for
வாய்ப்பு
Patlu.
இருக்கு.
He's snatching it back. He's bringing back the booyah to the team. But for how long? The revival has been given.
நெப்லாக்கு வாய்
A
பிரிச்சு
shadow
bro அந்த பையன் டைகர் ரஷ்
through
பண்ணாம
the
இருந்தானா
chrono
அடிச்சுக்கலாம்
shield
bro
and takes him down. And
Go,
this
சொல்லுங்க,
is the
யோகா,
booyah
யோகா,
that we were waiting for
Yes,
for
yes,
New
yes, yes.
Era for so long.
Finally, they make a new statement here in Group C. It was all going towards RDX every game, and finally with Navilugari taking them down, RDX out of the competition, it opens up space for everybody to get their very own booyah. And who would have thought a team who did not even make it to the top 4 at all in the first 2 games, they
Bro,
era
oh my
in
god,
TEZ FFMIC
seriously,
2026
edit
fall
search,
for
bro.
themselves. 12 placement points,
Why
7
pilla, Raja?
eliminations in total is what they get, but Patlu, he brought it way too close and made it uncomfortable.
Yeah. For all this time, New Era was looking for the antidote to crack the code, and finally they did. What a lovely way to back the Booyah in the map of Kalahari, and this should give them some really good confidence, right? They can fight against the veterans and still be called the winners, right? I do understand that there was a man count advantage, but
team name, bro?
Patlu right in front of you. All of a sudden, things are just going haywire, but there were players after players trying to put things
20,
together.
40, 83 bro. Vaanga, welcome. Thanks
Thanks
for membership. Rex Vinith bro.
They did bring it back home. Shadow, Fluxo, Amit, God. All 4 players played valiantly, and this is the credit that they have received.
Cassie, Moss, Chrono, as well as Oscar being used. It helped them out, especially in the last one, as you ended up seeing Chrono being pulled off and the time turner just enough that the nozzle sticks out and puts Patlu down because he was in an extreme state.
Leave kudukalna leave edukapaduma.
Shadow,
Okay, thanks.
and then Amit with one,
bro,
God with
membership
nothing much
podava
that
bro.
he was
Unga
able
viruppam
to
da bro
do,
adala.
but, Fluxo
Na
also
konja
had
kolari.
so
Solunga
majority
Harivara
of the
same
heavy
name.
lifting
Na
being
konja
done
kolari.
by Shadow and
Inga
Amit,
anna konja
while
kolari.
eliminations majorly being pulled by Shadow itself, Amit was the cause for the damage at 2,400.
Oh yeah. Shadow, the MVP. Well. Car 98K.
Thanks for a choi toast changer, Arvind, bro.
Know how hard it hits. Chrono being utilized by a sniper. All
Thank you
right,
so
this
much
is,
for
I
that.
believe a different
Support,
meta
bro.
that Shadow is trying to implement, and it's working. So kudos to him. Nikita, Joseph, Thiva. Why do I feel that Shadow
நமக்கு எப்ப
is
next match
the
நமக்கு
second
வந்து
rusher
next
of,
நீ
Team New Era? But in any which
அடுத்த
case,
வாரம்.
damage of over 2,700, which is really good, and 2 assists. And overall, it's a very small elimination game.
Amma!
Overall, they have backed the Booyah, which was super important.
எங்க
They
அம்மா
needed
வந்துருச்சு.
it, they got it, and now
Iru,
they're
tea
at
west
currently second spot. But Nebula Esports miles ahead of them, miles ahead. 32 total points on the previous game, and this will for sure bump their position from the 8th spot to the 5th or the 4th spot.
It for sure will. And this is them doing it without a booyah. We saw today's points 30, 27, all with a booyah, and without a booyah, they've done 32
membership
in
gift
total.
பண்ணா என்ன ஆகும்?
And this is what the
Membership
capability
gift
of
வரும்.
Nebula is, and I think finally they're waking up to the
என்ன bro
call
நீ இது கூட
of
தெரியாதா?
0 points in the very first
college
game.
was
Eagle Elite
27,
having a
28
total
game
of
on
19
gaming
points,
event.
Skill Max at 18, Kings
Yes,
Army at
yes.
17, sharing with
games,
Navilugari. Unfortunate for Navilugari that they always are in the final fights but do not have enough numbers. Let's talk about Nebula. Both of the teams almost have a similar, I would say, pathway in terms of how they fought out. As you can see, New Era and Nebula. Council Hall is where Nebula dropped, and on the other end, just above Bayfront and Shrines is where New Era fought. And you could see both the teams had a couple where they lost the players, went for a revive. First was Nebula, then to follow up was New Era, and then the distance was created between those two teams where they moved in complete other directions until the last fight.
Lucifer, it was vengeance. All this time, Nebula Esports, they were at New Era's throat again and again and again and again. And when the circle said that, okay, fine, let's give you another opportunity, New Era did not miss at all. And I love to see it, man. I just love the interaction, the pathway that they had created. Nebula, they were constantly keeping tabs on them. But New Era, they have played very well. A good execution. I know 4th and 5th circle went very quiet alongside the 2nd, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's the booyah that matters a lot. RDX Esports, well, this is the overall standings after game number 3, and we have RDX yet again in the tippy-top spot with 72 total points, 4 UK with 49 at the 2nd spot, Eagle Elite with 49 at the 3rd spot, and Nebula Esports 4th spot with 45 total points, Navilugari with 42, Kings Army with 36.
And then the next closest to the 7th spot is going to be EXO, a difference of 2 points at 34. Hims as well, same difference of 2 points, but they're at 32 from EXO. So a total of 4 points. And then comes in the major difference. That is going to be Skill Max at a difference of 9 points. New Era at a difference of 15 points from King's Army. Elite Force and On Fire still too far away from the competition to make it at the top 6. So hope they manage to recover. But I think a big recovery has been done.
Yeah, we love the
12th spot to make it to the 4th spot.
Yeah, we love
Disregard game number 1. I think finally we can say that. That's what we wanted to see from Nebula, but there's been surprises. I think New Era, you have to give credits to them. We did not think that they will be the ones that
கீழ ஒரு டீம் உட்கார்ந்திருக்கு Discordல.
It's going to be EXO, maybe for UK. Naviluguri as well, trying to get closer to that top 4. Maybe looking forward to Booyah, but it's just that deficit when they're in the final fights. It's not working for them. But
IRL live போலாம்னு இருக்காங்க
and Patlu getting back to form, showing us what
cricket live
சிக்கல IRL live போலாமா இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் மாதிரி
to see a lot more coming from Nebula, but not only
ஏய் போலாம்டா கம்முனே சும்மா ஆளா இருக்கேன்டா
நானே already pulled off. The difference between 1 and 2 already.
நைட் கூட தூங்குற லைவ் போட்டுருங்க பக்காவா இருக்கும்.
அவ்வளவுதான் அப்படியே கேமரா ஆன் பண்ணி அப்படியே தூங்குங்க நைட் ஃபுல்லா.
regardless of
இல்லடா ஒரு மாதிரி அப்பப்ப அது பண்ணுடா நானே ஒரு மாதிரி நானே நான் பாக்கறேன்டா
to my
இல்ல गाइस நீங்க தப்பா நினைச்சு போகாதீங்க நான் உண்மையாலுமே கவட்டையில கை விட்டு இப்படி வந்து கவட்டையில ட்ரவுசர் இல்ல இப்படி தான் தூங்குறேன் நான் இப்படி தான் தூங்குறேன்
புரியுது
எப்படி தான் தூங்குறேன்
ரெண்டு காலுக்கு நடுவுல கை வச்சு
ரெண்டு கால் புடிச்சிட்டே இல்ல நடுவுல கை வச்சு
சரியா சொல்லவே இல்ல the entire team is like, oh wait, what just hit us, huh?
போனதுக்கு பாத்ரூம் போங்க கம்ப்யூட்டர் தூக்கி
that is a highlight.
நீ நினைச்சு பாருங்க ஆயிருக்கும் போது இப்படி
brilliant stuff being done over there from 4UK, surprising but hey, they look forward to Booyah, I hope, because if they don't, RDX are going to run away. That is the difference between RDX as well as 4UK. Almost around 20 to 30 points. Nothing much to worry about. This was just game 3. We have a lot more games right here at TEZ FFMIC 2026 fall right after this break. So don't go anywhere.
சேர் மட்டும் தான் ரைட் லைவ்ல எப்படி ஃபேஸ் கேம் மட்டும் பெருசா வச்சுட்டு பேக்ரவுண்ட் ரிமூவ் பண்ணி விட்டுருவாரு தூங்குறத காமிச்சிட்டு விட்டுருவாரு அவ்வளோ
நீங்க கெட் ரெடி வித் மீ போடுங்க Dress மாத்துறது அந்த மாதிரி
கமெண்ட பாரியா ஒரு தடவை வேணா கிக்ல இது இந்த லைவ் போட்டு பார்க்கலாம்னு இருக்கேன் இது ஐஆர்எல் இல்ல ஒமேகல் லைவ் போடலாம்னு இருக்கேன்
ஒமேகல் லைவ்
ஆமா நல்லா தான் இருக்கும் பட் ஆனா லேடிஸ் வந்துட்டாங்கன்னா தான் பிரச்சனை
நீங்களே ஓட்டி விட்டுருங்க பிரச்சனை இல்ல
அது அது வராது அதான் தோணாது
பர்மிஷன் வாங்கிட்டு வந்திருங்க அப்பனா
வேணாம் யோ ஹரி 1 இயருக்கு முன்னாடி 20 ஸ்டிக்கி பாய்ஸ் ப்ரோ அது முடிச்சிட்டேன் ப்ரோ உங்களுக்கு புரியல முடிச்சிட்டேன் பட் ஆனா ரிவார்டு வந்து நான் வந்து கேஷா கொடுத்துருன்னு சொன்னேன் அதனால அவர்கிட்ட எப்ப வேணும்னா நான் அப்பப்போ கேஷா வாங்கிக்குவேன் வரைக்கும் 23,000 ரூபாய்க்கு பக்கம் வாங்கியிருக்கேன் அவர்கிட்ட ஆதி பிரமன் ப்ரோ தான் கேலக்ஸ் போலாம் கைஸ் கமெண்ட் லைக் போட்டு வரேன் அப்ப சரி வாங்க ஏதாவது ஒரு ஐடியா குடுறா டேய் கியோ கிக்ல நிறைய பேர் வர வைக்கணும் என்ன பண்ணுவானு சொல்லு டக்குன்னு சொல்லு பாப்போம் கிக்கு நிறைய பேர் வர வைக்கணும் ஒரு ஐடியா சொல்லு ஏய் गाइस தான சொல்லுங்க गाइस வெறுமனோட சுத்துங்க ப்ரோ அதெல்லாம் பேசாதீங்க கரெக்ட்டா ஏதாவது சொல்லுங்க லைக் ஐசோ ஸ்பீடா அவர் என்ன பண்ணுவார் அவர் ரியாக்ஷன் அந்த மாதிரி போடுவார் அவர் எங்க ஐயாயிரம் வெளியே போவார் கேமராவை தூக்கிட்டு
வெளியில போறதெல்லாம் செலவாகும்
அவருக்கு காசு நொறுங்க வருது போறாரு நமக்கு என்ன மயிரா வருது இங்க
ரே வச்சிட்டு ஸ்பைடி ப்ரோ முன்னாடி கேமராமேன் உட்கார வச்சிட்டு போவாங்க
மயிரா போய் பண்ணுவாங்க ஐஆர்எல் மீன்ஸ் இன் ரியல் லைஃப் ஆடா என்னது
ஆமா
இன் ரியல் லைஃப்
ஐசோ ஸ்பீட் பண்ணுவான் ப்ரோ ஐசோ ஸ்பீட் பண்ணுவான்
கெட்ட மாதிரி லைவ் போடுங்க ப்ரோ
இப்போ ஐசோ ஸ்பீட் வந்து கிக்குக்கு வரான்னு வைங்க சரியா ஓ லைவ் வாட்சிங் எவ்வளவு போகும் 20,000 வாட்சிங் போகுதுன்னு வையே
20,000மா அது கம்மியா
சரி ஒரு 50,000 வாட்சிங் போகுதுன்னு வையே 50,000 வாட்சிங் 3 மணி நேரம் 2 மணி நேரம் லைவ் போடுறேன். எவ்வளவு சம்பாதிப்பான்னு நினைக்கிறேன்?
ஒரு $1000.
$1000?
அப்புறம்
50,000 பேர்னா குறைஞ்சு ஒரு $2 லட்சம் சம்பாதிப்பான் ப்ரோ.
$2 லட்சம்?
ஆமா.
டாலர்ஸா?
ஆமாண்டா.
2 லட்சமா?
எப்படி
ஆமா.
கணக்கு எப்படி சொல்றீங்க? கணக்கு எப்படி சொல்றீங்க? எனக்கு புரியல.
அது எல்லாம் கணக்கு அப்படிதான். ஒரு 2 லட்சத்துல ஒரு 1.5 லட்சத்துல $2 லட்சம் சம்பாதிப்பான்.
$1.5 லட்சம்.
ஓலையில சத்தியமா சொல்றேன். உண்மையாலுமே சொல்றேன். 50,000 வாட்சிங் 2 மணி நேரம்னா உண்மையாலுமே தான் சொல்றேன்.
டிக்கில இருந்து வேணா ஸ்பான்சர் பண்ணுவாங்க.
ஸ்பான்சர் இல்ல. அவன் ரெவென்யூ மட்டுமே அவ்வளவு எடுப்பான்.
சப்ஸ்கிரிப்ஷன் வரும்.
சப்ஸ்கிரிப்ஷன்லாம் இல்லாமயே நான் சொல்றேன்.
லைவ் வரும் வாட்ச் ஹவர்ஸ் வச்சு.
And thank you so much for Azur. Thank you so much for Azur.
போய் சொல்ல ப்ரோ, உண்மையாலுமே ப்ரோ.
Until now, they did a really
அதான் கிக்கோட கால்குலேஷன் அப்படிதான். லைவ் வாட்சிங் எல்லாம் இப்போ லைவ்ல வந்து 250 பேர் பாக்குறாங்கன்னு வைங்க. ஒரு நாளைக்கு ஒரு 2 மணி நேரம் லைவ் போட்டா $10 இருந்து $12 கொடுப்பானுங்க. சரி, ஒரு மல்டி ஸ்ட்ரீம் போட்டீங்கன்னா $5 கொடுப்பான். $5 இருந்து $10. மல்டி ஸ்ட்ரீம் எல்லாம் போனீங்கன்னா ஒரு 12 இருந்து $18 $15 வரைக்கும் வரும். ஓகேவா? அதான் மைக்கை மியூட்ல போட்டு பேசுறாரு நினைக்கிறேன் அவரு.
இல்ல நீங்க சவுண்ட் குறைச்சிட்டீங்க.
Touche to whatever you said till now, Crips, because I strongly feel like, you know,
உண்மையாலுமே சொல்றேன்டா, நம்புங்கடா.
especially when it comes to Nebula, because Nebula is one of those teams
மேலே வரும்.
very good when it comes to the
கிக்கலா
initial stages. They try to
ஒட்டியா
dominate
எதுக்கா அப்ப நம்ம ஆளு எல்லாம் இங்க சுத்திட்டு இருக்காங்க நினைக்கிறேன் நம்ம எல்லாரும்.
the hearts of the opponents, and that's
ஆமா.
why I always keep them in my predictions.
$1 कितना रुपया? 95 ரூபாய்.
I want to make sure that, you know, they are
96 ரூபாய் நினைக்கிறேன்.
And because of that, even I have gone for Nebula.
அதனால நீங்க எல்லாம் ரெகுலரா வந்து ஒரு 1000 பேர் அங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னு வைங்க.
I will put Eagle Elites as one of my
ஒரு
predictions.
கடனை ஒரு 2-3 மாசம் கட்டிடுவேன்.
So far they haven't really done that well, so I'm hoping maybe now they will start to wake up after half the games are done.
கிக்கல யூடியூப் அக்கவுண்ட்ல லிங்க் பண்ண முடியாது. நீங்க ஜஸ்ட் இமெயில போட்டு லாகின் பண்ணிட்டு வாங்க, அவ்வளவுதான்.
Randomized map which we will find.
ஏப்டி தான் ப்ரோ, அதுவும் யூடியூப் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் தான். அங்க எவ்வளவு ஸ்ட்ரீமர் சுத்திட்டு இருக்கானுங்க நீங்க வேற.
So let's see what their chances are when they
தமிழ்லயே நிறைய பேர் அங்க இருக்காங்க. இன்ஸ்டா இது நார்த்ல எல்லா யூடியூபரும் அங்க தான் இருக்காங்க. ஸ்ட்ரீமர்ஸ் எல்லாரும் அங்க தான் இருப்பாங்க.
It happens at Plazeria and Boxing Gym for now.
YouTube தான் நீங்க YouTube உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்ச YouTube தான் bro. நிறைய இருக்கு. Twitch இருக்குது.
Twitch bro, Twitch எவ்வளவு தருவானு தெரியுமா? Twitch எவ்வளவு தருவானு தெரியுமா? ரூட்டர்னு ஒரு ஆப் இருக்குது. அதுல வந்து கம்மியா தருவாங்க. நான் வாங்கிட்டு இருந்தேன். எப்போ 4000 வாங்கிட்டு இருந்தேன். நான் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் என்னோட YouTube அந்த ரெவென்யூ மங்கல மீடியா ரெவென்யூங்கறது அதான் 4000 வாங்குனேன். 4000 ஃபர்ஸ்ட் salary வாங்குனேன்.
I feel like every single day that we cast this tournament, the point difference gets closer and closer. Like halfway through,
Esports watch
team Arise Esports could easily make it. But eliminated by a single point, left behind by a and that was a big game that couldn't make it. Nebula Esports is in a similar situation.
நான் தான் இவனையுமே அதுல போட சொல்லலாம்னு இருக்கேன். இவனோ டோபி தான் சொன்னானா, நீங்களே என்னன்னா எவ்வளவுனா வாங்குவீங்க, எங்களுக்கு கொடுங்க, ஸ்கீம் கீ கொடுங்க, நாங்க போறேங்கறாரு இவரு. இவரு யார்? இவரு டோபி. எல்லார்த்தையும் இதுல போட சொல்றானா, கிக்கில் லைவ் போட சொல்றானா. இது என்னோட பிரச்சனை. உங்க வேலை என்ன, அதை வந்து பாருங்க.
Yeah, next era has to be the most aggressive.
Haribro, my love break,
the maximum number of eliminations in a single map still being held by
பாக்கும்போது
this
டிப்ரஷன் இல்லாம இருக்கு bro. Thanks for lot. சசி bro, சந்தோஷமா இருங்க. போனா போராடா பாஸ்டி விட்டுட்டு போய்ட்டான்னு அழுவாதடா. போனவர் அழுவேன், உன்னை விட்டுட்டோம் மேனின் அழுவானுடா. தோத்துட்டோ அழுக வைக்கல, அவங்க அழு வைக்கல. காலி நீங்களா சேர்ந்தாண்டா நீ அழு வச்சீங்க.
It's been the
தோத்துட்டோம் மேனின் நீ கலங்காதடா.
And that's why I love seeing when teams camp particular vending machines or recall points so that they can more eliminations.
salary bro நாளைக்கோ நாளானிக்கோ தான் வரும். 26000 நினைக்கிறேன் bro இந்த மாசம்.
ஆனா மெயில் மட்டும் வந்துச்சு முன்னாடி. நான் கூட நினைச்சேன்
அப்படி இல்ல, அது ட்ரான்சாக்ஷன் ஆகும். ட்ரான்சாக்ஷன் மெயில் அது உங்களுக்கு வந்து இது பண்ணிட்டோம் பேங்க்குக்கு வந்துன்னு சொல்லி போட்டுருப்பானு அதுல.
அதான் அது மட்டும் தான் வந்துச்சு.
நாளைக்கு இல்ல நாளைக்கு
Now the first point of contact, HIMS.
Weekend
taking
கூட
down down, and
சரியா?
he's very low on HP. He also gets punished, and a good start for 4.
தமிழ் டீம்ஸ் என்கேஜி RBZ PVS அப்புறம் வந்து காலேஜ் ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் ஆறாங்க. அப்புறம் SG
we'll have to see whether
United.
they can continue
Tan
this
Gaming
until the end of the game.
பரன் ப்ரோ உங்களுக்கு எப்போ வரும்?
It's also having good control over the next Terra region. They've driven Hims Gaming away for now. However, I have a feeling that Hims Gaming will be
கிளாஸ்
back
டீம் தெரியல
here.
ப்ரோ என்னாச்சா என்ன
They
சொன்னாங்க
did
என்ன
not
ஆமா
settle their score. Oh,
பிளேயர் சுவா என்ன தெரியல என்ன ஏன் நேத்து
Tiger from Nebula
இல்ல,
Esports
team
is
is
caught off guard.
என்ன மாமா
But at least he
Name
managed
da
to
மாத்தணுமா?
use the vending
Team
machine
name
before
மாத்தி
he
ஆகணுமா?
died.
Yeah?
So mission successful, I
ஐயோ
guess.
அந்த கிளாஸிங் இருக்காது அவருக்கு
Yeah, but at the same time, they were rewarded
Oh,
for
அதனாலயா?
those eliminations,
Report
right?
போச்சாங்க.
Nebula,
It's
who
like a
looked
tag
so
team.
positive in the previous
Oh,
game,
வந்து
அவங்க
they look
அண்டர்
like
நேம்ல ஆடக்கூடாது.
they're again losing that momentum. And this has been the case for many other teams
6 PM
in this
குள்ள
tournament,
பேர் சொன்னா
especially
SG is not
T1
தமிழ் டீம்
teams.
எஸ்எஸ் கர்நாடகா டீம்
So-called T1 teams, because composure is something they're lacking lately, and that's going to cost them heavily.
Yeah. I mean, Nebula Esports would have been eliminated very early on. You saw how Tiger just managed to get the res before he died, right? If
Vice
that did
bro,
not happen,
பண்ணலாம்
then
தான்
he
பட்
would
ஆனா
have
என்னன்னா
been eliminated. His
அவங்களுக்கு
other
வந்து
member was
யூடியூப்ல
following
கெரியர்
was
வேணும் ப்ரோ
also
யூடியூப் வந்தா
bring
எப்பவுமே
the
இருக்கும்
extermination. So they would
இப்போ
have
வந்து
been
இருக்கான்னு
eliminated
தெரியல
by
பட்
new
இப்ப
era
ரெவென்யூ
on the other hand.
தராங்கறதுக்கோசரம் நம்ம
They
எல்லாரும்
have
அங்க போய்
acquired
கொண்டாவணும்
one
யூடியூப்
more
இந்த
plus
டைம்ல தான் அவன்
managed to
யூடியூப்
take one
பீக்
down
பண்ண
before he
முடியும்
hits the dust, but
ஓகேவா
Shadow almost
சோ இந்த
losing
டைம்
his
அவனை
life.
விட்டுட்டு அங்க
Dips
வந்துட்டானே
back in
அப்படினா
cover, but Django finds him through the glue wall.
இதாயிரும்.
Thanks to the Moko.
சரியா
King
அதனால தான் அவனை
have
நான்
done
யூடியூப்
really well
கான்சென்ட்ரேட்
for
பண்ண
now.
சொல்லுவேன்
They've driven away new era and they've taken
ப்ரோ
control
நம்ம வேற
of the
நம்ம
mud
கண்டென்ட்
side
கிரியேட்டர்ஸ் ப்ரோ
vending
ஓகேவா
machine
அவங்க
again, so
வந்து
they can revive
பிளேயர்ஸ்
start
அதனால அவங்க வந்து அவங்களோட பீக் டைம்ல
This
இருக்கும்போது
has
அவங்க
been a
வந்து
very
அவங்க இதை
clinical
எடுத்துக்கணும்
game from coming in from
அப்ப
their
கிரியேட்
side.
பண்ணி
They
வச்சா தான்
just
அவங்களோட
know
ஆடியன்ஸ்
this
அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன
so
பண்ணாலும்
well.
நம்மள வந்து
And that's
பாப்பாங்க
one of the reasons why they do not want to let it
இப்போ
go. It's
பிளேயரா
inside
இருந்து
the
அப்படியே
circle.
கண்டென்ட் கிரியேட்டர்
It's
ஆயிட்டாங்கன்னு
under
கூட
their
வைங்க
control. And what
வருவாங்க
else do they
அதனால
need? All they need is
ஃபர்ஸ்ட்
some
நம்மளோட
more teams to
ஆடியன்ஸோட
come
மைண்ட்ல
challenge
நம்ம
them.
இது
But
பண்ணணும்
for now, Nebula
வேணா
Esports,
என்னடா
as we
சும்மா
saw some
நொய்யி
early
நொய்யினே
skirmishes take place, it seems like teams are still divided
அப்படிங்கிறீங்களா
amongst this map, due to which they might have to be careful in how they approach
அண்ணா
the fight.
எப்பவுமே அட்வான்ஸா தான் சிந்திப்பேன் ரியாக்ஸ்ல நைட் லைவே இருக்குமா
RDX
கண்டிப்பா
also
இருக்கும்
needs to be a little careful. They just managed to save Shaksham from being completely finished off.
அங்க ஒரு 1 மணி நேரம் போட்டு
Just in time,
அப்படியே கிக்
but
ஓடியாங்க
Killer loses his life in the process. Varun jumps right up, puts his M590 in Saksham's chest and then pulls the trigger. Exo Esports managed to deal with their assailants for now. However, I'm pretty sure they're not done yet. All these teams are being so hungry for kills. Look at that. They spot the monster truck. They don't stop anywhere close to it. They don't want to risk the challenge near the monster truck itself. We just saw what could happen if 2 people get inside the monster truck in the end game just a couple of games ago.
TNWக்கு என்னடா பண்றாரு
That was
TNWக்கு என்னன்னே
Lesson
தெரியல
learned the hard way. That's for sure. Because
அவர் அப்படியே இருக்காரு.
it is funny. We did see several other funny moments, and I'm hoping to see some more because we do understand that underdogs, right? They come in, and with that pressure, they do forget the textbook basics. And I guess that's what's happening over here. 2 players push on to 1, and the fair trade comes through where EXO they stand tall. And the next player right in
On
front
fire
of
Esports
them,
on
they
it
get into a
எடுப்பாங்களா
vehicle
இந்த
to just
ட்வீட்
try
எடுப்பாங்களா
to, put him down, but ultimately comes undercover, making sure that he also increases the number in front of him.
Yeah, but Exo Esports don't want to dip inside this building just yet.
Oh, down it.
Not without clearing out the angles. Zetron finds the angle from above, gets that knock. Can he get the confirmation? No, not yet. Karthik's life spared for now. Both these teams are basically in a bit of a stalemate, with either team trying to get the angle, trying to get the first knock so that they can go inside, because Exo will not be able to survive if they go inside this building without information as to where on fire players are. They could easily be just caught in the crossfire, and then it would be like walking into a meat grinder. Zetron Worthless both staring daggers at each other across the 2 walls. One finally makes the jump across. Worthless, his efforts were not worthwhile as he goes down. Warren pops the time turn as Zetron invading it. Felix jumps back in to give him some cover. Exo deal with their assailants again in a very clinical fashion. Not even a single knock. They have absolutely no losses in the fight so
Haripra
far.
any chance
And
bro
Nido
guild
is
selection
actually
நடக்கும்
doing the job,
ஓகேவா
Chris. That's the best part of it all.
guild selection நடக்கும்
Yeah.
பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ்
Deadly
முடியும்
duo.
இதே முடியட்டும் அடுத்த வாரம்
I might
நடக்கும்
just have a new deadly duo
Okay,
now. I thought that we were the best deadly duo, but these guys are giving us a run
இல்ல
for
இந்த
their
வாரம்
money.
சாட்டர்டே சண்டே நடத்துமா சண்டே நான் மேக்ஸிமம் எல்லாரும் போமானு நினைக்கிறேன்
Still a long time.
Saturday,
They'll
Sunday
have to
நடத்துமா
prove
கம்பெனி
themselves a bit more if you want to bring us into picture. Nonetheless, our sniper,
In the format, not
Django,
VR.
he sees a
VR
player
தான்.
close by.
CS
He's already
நடக்காது.
marked him, due to which, oh my goodness, he does
Narikoottam
the
Gamerz
fixing
CS எல்லாம்
and
சாட்சி
gets
வைக்கவே
the
மாட்டான்
connection as well.
அதுல
பர்சா
எந்த
பார்த்ததுதான்
எத்தனை
மனசு
From a
தந்தை
distance.
காசு
Let's not forget King Army as well. They've been doing really good
எத்தனை
with
போயா?
overall standing, at least
போயா
in the
கில்லா
first half.
போம்பு
But now they stay at the 6th
போம்பு.
position,
அப்புறம்
20 shy from top of the table.
எத்து
But
போம் வேலைக்கு
look
பண்ணி
at
எத்து
them.
போமா
Early farming for them has rewarded them 9 eliminations, and that means if they end this game on a good note, they
சரி
might
நம்ம
be the
டீம்
table
வீக் 1
toppers.
பாஸ் பண்ணி இருக்குமா இருக்கு எல்லா மேட்சும் இருக்கு ப்ரோ
Still a long way to go from the tabletop, but they will continue their journey onwards. Same with Nebula Esports.
தமிழ் டீம் இந்த குரூப்ல இல்ல
Tiger
guys
gets yet another elimination, but I don't think they're ready to full send it onto Elite just yet. They're scouting out first, waiting for Elite to leave that compound. I don't think they need to leave the compound either, right? Maybe they need to go for the rest. That's when they'll step out. But they don't wait for an opportunity to manufacture it. They get the knock onto Patlu. Swaroop is desperately trying to use the heal pistol on him so he can keep them alive. But even Tiger loses his life in the process. And at some point, they have to cut their losses short. Patlu gets back up, but Tiger gets completely confirmed. Nebula Esports lose one.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட்
Not a
வீக் இப்படி தான்
worthwhile
இருக்கு
trade for
ஒண்ணும்
them.
பண்ண முடியாமா கதவு
Now they
சாத்துமா
must reconsider their actions because
கவன்
Elite is
பார்க்க
not
மாட்டேன்
going
சொல்லுங்க ப்ரோ
anywhere.
ஏழுமலை ப்ரோ சொல்லுங்க
You know,
First
the
week
sad
இப்படி தான்
part
guys
is
இருக்கும்.
we saw
First
new
round
era
காட்டி.
esports getting
அடுத்த
eliminated from
ரவுண்ட்
this lobby.
நல்ல பெரிய
They
நல்ல
were one of those teams who
நம்ம
picked
தெரிஞ்ச
a
டீம்ஸ்
bullet
எல்லாம்
in the
வரும்போது நல்லா
previous
இருக்கும்
games, and I was expecting them to do well, but all of a sudden they're also dwindling down. And I wonder what's happening to the teams out there. Probably it's the most unpredictable
ஏழு
lobby
group.
you can play in, and that's the reason why we see all of this take place. For now, Elite Force
ஓகே ஓகே
done
பாருங்க
a
game
பாருங்க
decent job in
Triple
kind
game
of
map இருக்கா இல்ல
secluding
website ல
Patlu's
இருக்கா?
position for now.
வெப்சைட் ஆமா
Triple game.
Forward to come in from a different angle and
Website
take him
ஆ?
down. They realize it's a
I'll
bad
show
fight.
website.
It's just
Okay,
gonna
okay,
buy
guys.
a lot of
Possible,
time.
thank you.
They decide to fall
இந்த
back
பக்கம்
from this
போயிட்டாரு
position. HIMS on the other side had a great opportunity to earn some birds, but a good shot being connected by Stark OP is gonna put them at bay.
Oh, King, look at that.
என்னடா
They're going in for
கீழ
the full
வந்துட்டாங்க
send against
நான்
Hims.
சொன்ன ரெண்டு எல்லா
They
டீமும் உள்ள
just
இருக்கு
managed to
நான்
get
சொன்ன
Acid
டீம்
back
எல்லாமே
up
உள்ள
online,
இருக்கு
but AB7 down on his
ஹிம்ஸுக்கு
knees
பதிலா
now.
கிங்
Stark OP
கிங் டீம் உள்ள இருக்காங்க
nothing to chance. Great execution, and that is him
ஆனா
getting
இஎக்ஸோ பக்கத்துல
eliminated.
இருக்காங்க நேவிக் பக்கத்துலயே
King's Army, 13 eliminations and looking strong. If there's any other team who have been as clinical and as strong as this team in this lobby, it has to be SMX. We've got 9 eliminations so far, as well as EXO, we've got 8 eliminations. Both these teams, potential when it comes to frontline battles. Then let's see whether all of these teams will eventually come for contention in the final circle. But for now, look at this.
ஒன்னே
Kings,
ராச்சா
they
வீட்ல
have
டீ
another
குடிச்சு ஏன்
hunting
என்னாச்சு
to do
Try
as
BGMI
ONF now in front of them,
BGMI
trying
யா?
to traverse around in the open.
சரி விளையாண்டு
Shots
பார்க்கலாமே
don't connect that much, but Zed, he's looking forward to get that confirmation.
அக்யூரசி இருக்கிற கேமே எனக்கு ஒரு இளவும் வர மாட்டேங்குது ப்ரோ ப்ரோ என்ன
Awesome dash response. Stark OP tries to get inside,
Hey,
but
client
Undishu
பார்த்தே கரெக்ட்டா
is dishing away at the damage, chipping off
அக்யூரசி இருக்கிற
their
கேமே
health.
ஒரு இளவும் வர மாட்டேங்குது
It's back online. All 3 players of On Fire huddle up. They need to be on point over here as well. Worthwhile. Trying to make it worthwhile. But
Killer
Utkarsh
BGMI விளையாட
gets away from
சொல்றாங்க.
him. Centaur lands the first shot. Zidor, he is just trying to go for the cover, but this is just too much to deal with. That tiny choke point becoming their undoing, and On Fire.
இந்த ஆப்லாம் வந்து எப்ப தெரியுமா நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கோனே நம்ம வந்து ஒரு 2000 யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கல 2023 24 அந்த டைம்ல தெரிஞ்சிருந்தீங்க
Despite splitting up,
நாம கிக்ல எவ்வளவு கொண்டு வந்திருக்கலாம் நினைக்கிறேன் கிக்ல
mitigating their
வாட்சிங்க
risk, they get completely eliminated. 3
ஒரு
players
700 வாட்சிங் கொண்டு வந்திருக்கலாம் மேக்ஸிமம் ஒரு 700 வாட்சிங் அப்படியே இருந்துட்டே இருக்க மாதிரி வச்சிருக்கலாம்
out of this game. The fires extinguished.
Oh yeah, and the fire
Enquiry Esports இத விட்டு எதுவும் வர மாட்டாங்க
themselves. What a recovery that was. Even though they got the first knock, they were able to retaliate well and make sure that they take advantage of that 4 men on their side. But for now, it's going to be Elite Foes, so keeping a keen eye on both these teams out there. Probably they heard the commotion, and now they do want to pick up a frag here and there.
Anthony bro
Launcher right next to them to make
I'm
sure
waiting
they
for
can
you on
get
Enquiry
inside
Esports
the
success.
second,
I'm
which
always
is
yours.
quite
Thanks,
far away if
bro.
you ask me. And as soon as the sirens go out, they choose to fly in.
Enquiry Esports அப்புறமா தான் bro அடுத்து வாரம் தான்
Yeah, so these guys don't need to worry about their rotation. Elite making their jump. Hold on though, because right where they are, even Team Navi is trying to get to that exact same spot. Both these teams landing very close to each other. Oh my god.
Passport வேற எடுக்கணும் இல்லனா அதுக்கு அப்புறம் ஆட விட மாட்டாங்க.
Falls into a massive lobby engulfing fire.
Passport வேற அப்ளை பண்ணனும் இன்னைக்கு தான் சொல்லிக்கிறேன்.
It's not looking good if you ask me, because a lot of teams are still alive and all these teams need to make sure that they get a booyah and be consistent to get at least 15 points in every game. And that's going to force them to make some mistakes. But for now, it's going to be RDX, the ruthless destroyers of the lobby. What a retaliation coming in from the other side.
Bro. Programmer bro.
Sean gets taken down. Recovery comes through, but that also means that right now RDX have got an upper hand.
RDX might have the upper hand for now. Nobody close to them, and nobody probably will even come close to them because people will try to go towards the center of the circle. RDX are at the edge. So I don't think anybody is going to rush them. However, if the circle moves away from them later on, they will be in trouble. Elite as well. They might be getting shot from RDX right now, but there's no real danger because I don't think any team is in a position to go full sending it against
enna bhai ipadan money bhai tournament highlights paathen
so for the next 30 seconds we're going to see a lot of shots exchanged.
ஒரே லாபில ஆடுறாங்க bro அது bro ஸ்கிம்ஸ் வந்து ஒரே லாபி ஆடுறது பிராக்டிஸ் ஸ்கிம்ஸ் வந்து ஒரே லாபில தான் இருக்கும்
actually managed to confirm that it would be great, but look at this, Ram is down, but I don't see his teammates ringing the alarm bells. I don't think he's going to be confirmed just yet. Jeet landing quite a lot of knocks. Again, these are all for vanity, but the fate will change once the circle shifts.
Oh yeah, this is
76 point அப்படியே நின்னுச்சு RDX
pestering around, making sure that they burn their resources. Try to strike fear in the hearts of the opponent.
பொறுமையா இருக்கவே கூடாது அவங்க இப்போ பொறுமையா இருந்தாங்கன்னா அப்புறம் கீழ தான் இறங்குவாங்க கண்டினியூ பண்ணனும் அது அப்படியே.
We're looking so strong in this lobby. I found a good footing inside the circle, and that's kind of a problematic situation for the rest of the squad.
JI engine is
Team Navi and
King
find themselves
King நல்லா ஆடுறாங்க
compounds, but for everyone else
நினைக்கிறேன். ஆமா
they need to start panicking. Skill Max and Nebula are about to
அடுத்த மேட்ச் ஒரு 30 35 பாயிண்ட் காணாங்கன்னா மேல வந்துருவாங்க. நீங்க ஒரு டீம்ல ஆடுங்க bro, பட்டாஸ் bro. வேணாம் bro. அரிபேர் நோபிட்டா bro இந்த FFMIC ஆடுவாங்க இல்ல இப்படி TEZ bro டீம்ல ஆடுவாங்கன்னு சொல்றாங்க எல்லாரும். கேட்ல அப்ளையோட சொன்னாங்க அனௌன்ஸ்மென்ட் பண்ணாங்கன்னு ஏதோ.
Should be able to get inside without too many problems, but with the Thunderbolts active everywhere, no team is getting out unscathed.
We've got a very good footing inside the circle. Is now looking to gatekeep anybody. SMX trying to do their best. Nebula goes in for a jump shot, but sadly they all get taken down because I don't know how come
நெபுலாவும் நிக்கவே கூடாது. என்ன நெபுலா இங்க இவ்வளவு இது பண்றாங்க நெபுலா, ஆனா ஈவன் லாபி பயங்கரமா ஆடுறாங்க நெபுலா. இந்த லாபி இவ்வளவு கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க தெரியல.
Nebula, they're going to be regretting that fight because they had such a good start and all of a sudden
பெரிய லாபி அடிச்சு பிரிக்கிறாங்க bro நெபுலா. ஆனா இந்த லாபில
நீங்க என்னன்னு தெரியல,
இது பிளாஸ் மார்னாங்களா இல்ல என்ன ஒரு மாதிரி போகாம ஆடுறாங்களா என்ன கதையும் தெரியல. அதே டீம் தான் பட்லூ ஸ்பார்க் டைகர் அப்புறம் யாரு ஸ்வாரம் அவங்க தான் ஆடுறாங்க. அப்புறம் என்ன
they lose Gungri already. King picks him apart. Navi works so hard to keep him alive. SMX tried to get the knock onto him, but in the end, Navi get the kill.
ஆமா அது RDX ஒரு பொசிஷன் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் மட்டும் எடுத்துட்டு வந்திருக்காங்க. பாஸ்போர்ட் ஓகேவா மேலயே ஆகும்.
From the window, Gaurav and Sake trying to block their path with the glue walls, but they will break through eventually.
Passport 20000.
They need to be careful. The pink feathers, they need to spread around. If they're caught in a single place, probably they'll be plucked off. But look at them
under the table
taking fights on two different fronts. Not a good thing for them, as they not only reveal their location but also will be concentrating somewhere else. But it's been rewarding for them for a brief period of time now. SMX, they slowly come in, convert slowly, get over here, and one good grenade could end the job for Navi.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. No Steffi either, so they can't block that grenade when it eventually comes in. It seems inevitable with every passing second. And now the jump out, the guns are ablaze. Viper gets the first knock, both the time turners spot, but Gaurav tries to go for the other side. Satvik will get confirmed in the meanwhile. Bhavya staving off the invaders, but he gets a knock onto Gaurav. Saket retaliates instantly, and here comes a flank, and here comes the fourth party as well.
RDX பொசிஷன் மட்டும் புடிச்சு எடுத்துறாங்க பாரு அதுங்க ஆப்பல போயவ காரணங்க அந்த பசங்க இந்த மேட்ச்மோ
9 eliminations and with the
ஆனா 4UK எல்லா மேட்சும் கன்சிஸ்டன்ட்டா அடிக்குறாங்க bro. அந்த எல்லா மேட்சும் கன்சிஸ்டன்ட்டா கில் எடுத்துட்டு இருக்காங்க.
இவங்க கில் எடுக்கறாங்க, இவங்க பொசிஷன் பிடிக்கறாங்க.
ஆமா
strike the hardest possible.
Kings ரெண்டுமே பண்றாங்க இப்போ.
who have done so well so far, now starting to prioritize the circle. RDX on the other side. Now these men are not bothered about the whole lobby. They're like, let it be any team who are trying to force us out. Let it be even
8 பாயிண்ட் பத்தி உறுதி. அதாவது 8 பாயிண்ட் 12 பாயிண்ட் பத்தி உறுதி.
100 பாயிண்ட் எடுத்தா போதுன்னு இருக்காங்க போல.
RDX looking the team the most confident.
RDX.
நம்மள 6 கிலோ
but that's all
ப்ராப்ளமா இருக்கும்
especially when Jesus cracking heads like that. A knock scored against Kings.
நல்லா தான் ப்ரோ ஆறாங்க.
Revive comes in. So no danger for them just yet. RDX can continue putting pressure on Kings. Keep in mind that they don't need to move yet. So RDX do not need to expose more than their heads. They can just play that head glitch on the mound. But for UK, they need to still make their way downhill. And King will try to stop their advance. Saksham gets the knock onto Aryan. Roshan goes down as well. Lighting up the elimination. Lighting up all of his opponents on fire. For UK surviving on their last legs. Almost down over here.
கால் பண்ணி பாத்து வெச்சவனே
on top of it, but I don't think it's going to keep him alive for any longer. I really don't think he can outlive RDX.
4 UK பாருங்க 9 கில் கன்சிஸ்டன்ட்டா ஒரு 7 கில்க்கு மேல எடுத்துட்டே இருக்காங்க.
And do not have an idea that there's a lone survivor. Even if they do, probably they'll have to be very careful
அந்த டீம்ல 4 பேர் இருக்காங்க நஷ்டமா மொத்தமா.
Winning this game. Django on top of the bird view against RDX. He knows that if he gives that opening,
அதனால பின்னாடி இருக்கவன கண்டுக்கல. பின்னாடி இருக்கறவன் சைலண்டா போந்து அப்படியே
பின்னாடி உள்ள வந்துருவாங்க.
Is now exposing himself.
அவன் வந்துட்டானே இப்ப இவன் ஃபோக்கஸ்ல இவன் மேல தான் இருக்கும்.
It's time for us to push in.
என்னடா 3 பேர் தான் வராங்க சொல்லும்போது இந்த பையன் அங்க உள்ள வந்துருவான். இதோ மாடி நம்பர் 4
மாட்டிட்டான். As they start to move around, kill on the other side comes closer to Knight, who's cleverly put himself inside that low wall.
இவன் கீழ் வால் உடைச்சா மாட்டிக்குமா?
25 eliminations. Will that be enough?
அவ்வளவுதான். 3-4 எடுத்துவானுடா. கண்டிப்பா 3-4 எடுத்துவானே.
All the time, but Stark their greed consumes them. It costs them their life. Saksham now going in to confirm those eliminations, but Saksham gets targeted by Django, eats a bullet straight to the face, deals 100 damage, but still heals himself up, and then Killer retaliates. Awesome control over every single opponent and every single avenue from where they can get shot from. Whether it's a crossfire from a window and a door, or whether it's people hiding
night reaction live irukka.
Batting for their lives.
Night reaction live irukum. Bro idu viளையாடலாம் இருக்கேன். Scribble ஏதோ வரையற போட்டியா. அது விளையாடலாம் இருக்கேன்.
What a game turning out to be for RDX Esports, but let's not forget the spotlight is going to be taken away from them because there were several other teams,
especially லைட்டா புளிங்க மாதிரி இருக்கு. பார்வை
eliminations, skill max as well. They also had somewhere
around
15 to 7 eliminations. So at the numbers, nonetheless RDX
சீக்கிரம் பாஸ்போர்ட் அப்ளை பண்ணுங்க 1 month கிட்ட ஆயிடும் வரதுக்கு.
It's not about the
வேகமா அப்ளை பண்ண வேண்டியதா வேகமா இருக்குது காசு தான் போ.
Sure you're in the top 6.
Yeah, and that is the target for now, getting into the top 6. But hey, if you can get there with style, then why not RDX Esports? I am so sorry I said that their greed consumes them, man. That was the wrong statement. Greed is good. 3 booyahs are not enough. You should go for 5. You could have gone for 6, but you relinquished one anyway. So now they will assert their dominance. Yes, sure, this booyah wasn't as dominant as the ones that we have seen from them before. They've gotten way more eliminations in many other games. And this game too, they were doing a lot of damage, right? I mean, take a look at Jeep. 5,000 damage, 10 knocks, only 2 eliminations.
இப்போ அதுக்கு அப்ளை பண்ணனும் என்னென்ன வேணும் பாஸ்போர்ட் அப்ளை பண்றதுக்கு என்னடா வேணும்
the eliminations were stolen away.
தெரியல நான் பண்ணதுலயே
பாஸ்போர்ட் அப்ளை பண்றதுக்கு என்னென்ன கைஸ் வேணும்
you know symmetrically, but they still get the booyah. They are still
அண்ணா படம் வருது எதுமே சொல்லல மாட்டறான்.
Absolutely, and the MVP obviously is going to Saksham in the close range whenever we require. He was always there, even in those final fights when they thought that nothing is going to go in their favor. He just gives that opening and everything falls in place. With that
ஆதார் கார்டு இருந்தா போதுமா? ஆதார் கார்டு மட்டும் இருந்தா எப்படி போடுவீங்க?
Of this game.
ஜிசி வேணுமா?
Information and Nikita for the quick reload.
அதுனா இல்லையானா சின்ன பசங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் போடுறாங்க.
இவனுக்கெல்லாம் வேணுமே. பேன் ஆப்ஷனலா?
4 eliminations, yes.
Other ban optional
of the game.
Main Aadhar irukano.
Points for his team, but there's a dude who did 5,000
Aadhar birth
damage. And who reaped the
Probably
rewards.
revived his teammates, right? Because
TC
MVP
ஆதார்
comes
கார்டு
down to
பர்த்
how much you
சர்டிஃபிகேட்
contribute to
டிசி
your
இல்ல
team.
Yeah,
இவனுகிட்ட
that too.
யாரிட்ட
So,
மணிட்ட
no
டிசி
credit
இல்ல
taken away from them.
கிரிப்டிட்ட டிசி
I
இல்ல
mean,
அப்புறம்
does that even matter? You can take
11th.
அவங்க ஸ்கூலே முடிக்கலையே.
10th இன்னும் முடியல 10th மட்டும் முடிச்சிட்டாங்க.
இப்போ எப்படி
ஸ்கூல் விட்டு வெளிய போனா டிசி தருவாங்க.
இப்போ 3 வயசு குழந்தைக்குலாம் எப்படி டிசி வரும்? அவங்களுக்குலாம் பாஸ்போர்ட்
3 வயசு குழந்தையா அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும்.
No, I
3
strongly
வயசு
feel it's
குழந்தைக்கு
gonna be
வேண்டியது
clinical.
இல்லைன்னு எருமாட்டுக்கு கேட்பாங்கல்ல, எருமாட்டுக்கு டிசி வேணும்னு கேட்பாங்கல்ல,
ஸ்கூல் விட்டு வெளிய வந்தா டிசி கேட்பாங்க. ஸ்கூல் முடியல.
கேஸ் பில் கேட்பாங்களா, அட்ரஸ் ப்ரூஃப்க்கு.
ஆமா அட்ரஸ் ப்ரூஃப் main address
out there, but
proof.
nonetheless this is how the two
வீட்டுக்கு வந்து இன்ஸ்பெக்ஷன்
and Kings, as you can see, they were sticking themselves close to the zipway
எங்க
and they made
வீட்டுக்கா?
sure that they do not move.
அவ்வளவுதான்
வந்து
இப்போ வந்து ஒண்ணும் இல்ல, இப்ப எங்க வீட்ல வந்து செக்கிங் பண்றாங்க போலீஸ். என்ன தெரியுமா பேசுவாங்க எங்க ஊர்க்காரங்க எல்லாருமே, ஏதோ அது ஏதோ திருடிட்டு வந்துட்டானாமாப்பா சேனல்ல ஏதோ யூடியூப் பண்றேன்ட்டு, அவன் திருடிட்டு வந்து பாத்து போயிட்டு நீ மாறிட்டானப்பா முத்துக்குட்டி வையா போலீஸ் புடிச்சு போட்டாங்க. இன்னைக்கு வளர்மதி ஒரே அழுக, தங்கச்சி வேற அங்க இருந்து வர சொல்லிட்டாங்களாம், வேலையை விட்டு தூக்கிட்டாங்களாமா. இதுன்னு புளி விடு, எல்லாத்தையும் புளி விட்டுருவானே. ஆமா அந்த பிள்ளை வீட்டுல புலதரமானு சொல்லிட்டாங்களாமா, எங்க அம்மா சொல்லிட்டாங்களாமா புலதரமானு. அப்போ ஏதோ பொம்பளை கேஸ் ஆட்டிருக்குது இந்த பையன், ஓ தப்பா மாட்டிக்கிட்டானாமா. அவன் என்ன போட்டு சொல்லி விட்டுருவானு ஃபுல்லா. மண்டா கோளாறு பிடிச்சவன் பைத்தியக்காரனுங்க ப்ரோ ஊருக்குள்ள. அவங்க போலீஸ் வந்தது அட்ரஸ் செக் பண்றதுக்கு வந்திருப்பாங்க, ஃபுல்லா சொல்லி விட்டுருவானு. ஓடு
லண்டனுக்கு போறோம், லண்டனுக்கு போறப்ப அதுதான் வந்துட்டாங்க.
away from them, and that's why King
நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொல்லி வச்சிருக்கீங்க இந்த மாதிரி வர மாதிரி.
ஆமா முத்துக்குட்டி வையா காலேஜ் படிக்கும்போது ஏதோ புள்ள பேசிட்டு இருந்து அது ஏதோ பிரச்சனை ஆயி போச்சாட்டது வந்து போறாங்க. ஒரு மயிரும் தெரியாது, ஒரு மயிரும் தெரியாது, எல்லாத்தையும் சொல்லி விட்டுருவானுங்க. ஒரு இளவு ஒரு கர்மம் தெரியாது.
What's happening with Esports? Look at them having a blue, but still at the bottom of the table, almost the bottom I would say, because on fire every time they come into the game they get extinguished very quickly. Navilugari on the other side, they lose 2 points. That means now they are in the red zone. EXO as well, who did so well in the previous game, have also not done so great in this one as well. But the point difference between the 4th and the 10th team,
check up பண்ணுவாங்களா, ஏதாவது டிசீஸ் இருக்குதான் செக் பண்ணுவாங்க.
and 25 points can be covered up in a single game.
கேஸ் காரங்களான்னு பாப்பாங்க. நான் எனக்கு தான் கேஸ் இல்லையே, எல்லாமே ஒரிஜினல் தான் வேணும்னா.
However, with the competition on the top of the table becoming less and less intense, two teams pulling away way ahead of all the other teams.
இன்டர்வியூ சும்மா கேட்பாங்க,
I feel like that will intensify the competition towards the middle order, and that's where it matters the most. Getting into the top 6 is what matters the most. With just 2 games remaining, we are now heading
ஆர் பேன் போட்டோ மார்க் ஷீட் இமெயில் ஃபோன் நம்பர் அமௌண்ட் 2000 அவ்வளவுதானா. வடபோ தேங்க்ஸ் சார், வடபோ गाइस அந்த ஜோல்சன் சுனி மாப்பலாம்.
I decided to change my predictions just a little bit. I did not have Hims gaming
ஒரு தவணை இடையில டெத் சர்டிஃபிகேட் நானடா அவன் எவன் பாரு.
Because I was like, okay, they conquered the city qualifiers. But right now I'm going to place my bet on Hims gaming, because I think in the last
இடையில ஒரு டெத் சர்டிஃபிகேட் நம்பர் அவன் எவன் பாரு. விசா டைம் தான் இன்டர்வியூல.
And of course I'm going to pick RDX and Nebula Esports because they're just the usual suspects.
விசா
now for me I've got a little bit for UK as well as approval, because these two teams we saw them right when given an opportunity.
Oh adu tharunma
for they're very good when it comes to execution.
adukku enna venu adukku enna venu
have to do is try to be a bit more aggressive, but at the same time try to survive until the end. But the upcoming game is going to be the map of Solara. We are done with 4 games. We've still got 2 more. Please make
thanks
sure
for the Ramprasth, thanks for the
make sure they all come in over here to witness the action take place in the map of Solara.
நீ மறையக்கு வாட்ச் பண்ணிருக்கு.
Look at these.
ஆனா காலேஜ்ல இருந்து ஏதா பிளேஸ்மென்ட் வந்து யூனைட்டட் போற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு.
5 teams in TV Tower. I don't know, man.
அரபுன்னா டே ராம்பராஜ் thanks for try to the வடாபாவ்
turn off the faucet.
அரபுன்னா டே அசந்து ஆடும் மலகியானி. Sometimes அவங்க அப்ரூவ் கொடுத்தாதான் டிராவல் பண்ண முடியுமா? அட என்னடா அதுக்கு எவ்வளவு கொடுக்கணும்?
அது கண்ட்ரியை பொறுத்து.
இப்போ நான் வந்து பிரேசில் போற எவ்வளவு கொடுக்கணும்?
10 லட்சமா? I don't get it.
I still feel like it's
Kerala
deception,
illa
right? The
bro.
opponents are also watching. Just make sure that
Detail
they
is
place, force them to go there because there are several teams who will have to pull off a 25 skirmishes. So probably try to show that I'm going here, my friend.
அவருக்கு இல்ல போடா இதான்
These drop
கேட்டிருக்காங்க.
locations are going to be
Thailand க்கு free visa வா?
கடவுளே
ஆனா சில கண்ட்ரிக்குலாம் free னா.
அப்படியா?
Thailand ஏதோ cancel ஆயிடுச்சுன்னு கேள்விப்பட்டேன்.
பிரேசிலுக்குலாம் 1 லாக்லாம் போலாம்.
As we head into the map of Solara,
போலதான்
look at
இருக்கும்.
this
1
time.
லாக்கா?
I hope that this
ஏ கரீனா அதெல்லாம் கொடுத்துறீங்க. நான்லாம் வரதோட சரி.
I'm done with it.
அமெரிக்காக்குலாம் 80,000 நம்ம 80.
I think you will be disappointed.
Ticket.
நீங்க போடுற visa வாங்குறானுங்க.
It's
இல்ல
still a pretty
education
good
visa,
flight path.
tourist visa,
It
employee
offers
visa
fair access to pretty much
அந்த மாதிரி
every
இருக்கு.
man.
job visa அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய
How many
இருக்கு.
teams do
ஜாப் நான் ஜாபுக்காக தான் போறேன். ஜாப் விசா கொடுக்க சொல்லு.
ஜாப்னா நீங்க அங்கேயே
ஜாப் என்ன வேலை பார்க்க போறீங்க அங்க போயிட்டு என்ன பண்ண
Esports
போறீங்க
விளையாட
company
போறீங்க.
You have Esports, you have EXO. Okay, wait, EXO.
இந்த கம்பெனி இன்ஸ்பெக்ஷன் நடக்கும் அது எல்லாம் நடக்கும்.
ப்ரோ உங்களுக்காக ஒரு 1500 பண்ணி தரீங்களா? ரைட் ரைட்.
Predicted
Matrix management
still
bro.
not bad, man.
Yeah. Absolutely. We can still expect
நாளைக்கு நான் போய் எங்க ஊர் CSS ல கேட் வரேன்.
a good start. Gods over there, very low on HP.